So
Right.
I think we're live. Here we go. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to my channel. If you're brand new, if you come back, thanks for tuning in once again. I've got two awesome guests, Jason, the Old Millennial, and Rashad G Reviews. How you doing, fellas?
What's up?
Sensei.
Yeah.
It's karate time.
Rashad rocking the awesome Miyagi-Do. Well, Daniel LaRusso headband, I should say.
Well, Miyagi-Do, not so much Daniel. Like I'm not a big Daniel fan these days, but definitely Miyagi-Do.
Right.
You need one of the Takai bandanas with a C on it. Those are pretty cool.
Oh, and I'm gonna see if I can order one from Amazon. I'm gonna see if Amazon has one of those.
I wonder if they have one of those.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I like those headbands. It's something a little bit different. I like that everyone wears the same one though as well. I think that's
right.
Cool. But yeah, if anyone is tuning in live after the fact, we are talking Cobra Kai season 6 part 2 in full spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, get the hell out of here. Come back when you have seen it, or if you just don't care, then hey, stick along with us for the ride. I have got to open this up and to say that this started off with a great opener. We saw Jaden Smith come back into Cobra Kai as season 6. How did you feel about seeing Jaden Smith, Rashad?
Did I miss something? I didn't see that little bastard. Well, what did I miss? Yeah, what did I miss? I ain't see that little punk ass. Hell no.
I missed something?
Yeah.
I won't even up Rashad. We all know how much he secretly loves Jaden Smith, the Karate Kid.
Good, yeah.
Nah.
But now this dropped on Netflix on Friday the 15th of November. I binged this in like one night. How about you, Rashad?
Oh yeah, me and the kids, we watched it in its entirety. We didn't take any breaks or anything. Just right next episode to the next episode to the next episode. Somebody has to go take a piss. Go ahead, take a piss. When you come back, I'll tell you what happened. But I did not stop it. I let it play the whole time. That's how serious this is.
Right. Yeah. And how about yourself, Jason?
Yeah, I watched all 5 in a row Friday afternoon or whatever it came out. Before I went to work, I just went through the whole thing.
Good all. So it sounds like we're all pretty much similar, all like just straight off the go, no breaks unless toilet breaks. But Rashad was just like, I'm going to keep pressing play anyway. You know?
We keep going. Yep. Even if I had to go to the bathroom, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to be real quick. Tell me what happens, Yeah. Didn't even wash my hands. Just had some baby wipes next to me and, let that do the job. All right, let's go.
Ready to go.
like anytime Sam is talking to somebody, you're like, oh, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah. When Sam opens her mouth, I'm out. Yeah.
Perfect time for a toilet break. But yeah, I mean, we've got a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about, and at the end of the stream, we will kind of have our theories as to what's going to happen in I'd say part 3, but the final part of Cobra Kai ever. So I will unpack that as well. But yeah, going into this, Rashad, I'm going to start with you first before going into part 2. What did you actually think of part 1 very quickly?
I thought part 1 was a dope setup. I thought part 1 was a good, not so much world building, but just getting us prepared for the madness that was part 2. So, couple of cringe moments. The whole thing with Daniel being butthurt about Miyagi's secrets was kind of getting under my skin a little bit. If I could be totally honest, I'm like, this is getting on my nerves now. But I thought it was a good setup to this one. So, I dug it.
Nice. Yeah. And I definitely agree about Daniel LaRusso. And there's more of that butthurt stuff in this part as well. We'll get to.
Like, get over it, man. That's almost like finding out your dad had multiple women back in the day. He was somebody before he was your dad. He was a regular dude. So why are you so hurt that, oh my God, my dad had multiple partners? Who gives a shit?
Right. Yeah. Like past is the past, right? And
yeah.
Like especially the Maggie stuff was so long ago as well,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can get that as well. Jason, how about yourself? What did you think of part 1?
Yeah, I thought it was good. The show's always good, so I never had complaints really. Except, like the thing that gets me is the whole Johnny and Daniel relationship. It's always like, One episode's like, we're best friends. Next episode's, I want nothing to do with you. I'm done with you. Next episode, we're best friends again. I'm like, what the heck, guys? Like, can't keep together for a couple episodes? Like, it just, every season it does that. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't know. I can never believe what's going on. I want to say Peyton List, who plays Tori, she's killing it. Like, to me, this is her best season. And she's the best actress in the show, in my opinion.
Hands down. Right. Hands down, yeah.
I agree. And I think kind of a lot of that comes from a background in doing Disney acting before this.
Okay.
I don't think it was a serious Disney show, but of course, working with Disney, like kind of child actors, teenage actors working Disney, Nickelodeon, they get that experience before they go into a show like this or a movie. Right. So I think that probably helped her with like at least establishing some kind of ground into this, whereas like Sholomalo Duenya, who plays Miguel, and like Hawk Dimitri, I've never seen them in anything before this, Well,
I think all of them are Disney kids because Jacob, how you say his name, Bertrand?
Bertrand, okay, yeah.
Yeah, him and Peyton List did a couple of Disney projects together, so that's how they met. And Peyton List, she was part of a show called Jessie, I think it was called. Because my daughter used to watch this stuff back in the day. So when she first appeared on Cobra Kai, she was like, "Oh, that's from Jessie." I was like, "Oh shit, she was on Disney." I had no idea. But yeah, I think about 80% of those kids had Disney backgrounds already.
Oh wow, okay. I honestly did not know that. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
So kind of, I mean, it gets to show at least with the, because I would say the show's got good acting for most part. But yeah, I think Peyton List has done a great job. I think they've just developed her character so much in this one season alone. It'll be we'll definitely go more into that. But yeah, so for most part, we enjoyed part one. Definitely Jason and Rashad saying mostly positives, a couple of nitpicks here and there. So going into part two, I was really excited because the cliffhanger of part one was we see Tori joins Cobra Kai. After finding out the death of her mom, she didn't think she was going to get a chance in Miyagi-Do. So she's like, well, John Kreese, of course, as Rashad said, special place in hell for that man.
Yes, for sure. For sure. He's the devil.
He's one of the greatest villains of all time. Right? I don't know if you guys can agree with that or not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even from the original Karate Kid, for like the first 3 movies, then Cobra Kai from season... I think he comes in at the end of season 1. Am I not mistaken?
Yes, he does. End of season 1, yeah.
Yeah, and even since then, that character's just grown, and to the point where you can't feel sorry for him, apart from maybe the younger version of John Kreese, how he got started. But he definitely plays a big part in the finale as well. Let's just say that. So yeah, we're not going to talk about like each episode individually. We'll go through the characters and we'll kind of go from there. So Rashad, I know that you did you say that you think the Sakai Takai was going to just take these 5 episodes and then that was it?
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought originally. I thought this was going to be like, you're talking about 3-act structure. So I thought the first 5 was going to be the build up to the Sakai Takai, and then the second act was going to be the Sakai Takai itself, and then the third act was going to be just wrapping everybody's story up, when you get back home. So that's how I thought it was going to be. And I don't know, it might still be that way, because how do they continue the tournament after what happened? There's no way after you get a body that, okay, we got to start all over again now. Okay, continue. There's no way.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
plus the ending of the cliffhanger of the last episode as well. It's
right.
Did you guys see the preview for the next part, by the way?
Yeah. I saw. Well, okay. I saw like it was like a small clip, like I guess new footage or whatever, where they show Daniel fighting I'm assuming it's Cobra Kai, and the skeleton costumes like from the first movie. So they kind of recreating that scene where Miyagi fought the Cobras. So that's the only new footage that I've seen. Huh. And they did show some Sakai Takai stuff. I'm assuming that was from what we just seen, not new footage, I'm assuming, right?
So from what I've heard, is that footage. So basically, Jason, what Rashad's referring to. So they show a clip of Daniel LaRusso fighting like in Karate Kid 1, where he's against like Johnny in like the skeleton Halloween outfits. There's like a bunch of them fighting him. So it's like a flashback or maybe the skeletons in his closet or the demons he's fighting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then the other footage I saw, Rashad, that you're saying was Robbie versus Axel of the Iron Dragons. But someone's theorized that the tournament's going to move back to the All Valley Arena.
Oh.
All Valley,
and not in Barcelona. So I don't know how that's going to work. But that's the leaked footage.
But you know what? With this show, anything's possible because, you know, one thing about Cobra Kai, nothing's too complicated. Like, even when they, you know, we try to theorize stuff and be like, well, how are they going to pull this off? It's usually something really simple. Because remember last season we were talking about how's John Kreese a fugitive? And all the charges were dropped. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? The charges were dropped. And then Terry Silver, well, how did he get out of prison? Oh, well, the charges were dropped. You know, or I forgot how they said he got out, but it's just so convenient writing. So I can see them doing that. How did they get back to California? Look, it's Cobra Kai. Just roll with
it. Yeah, they do kind of explain that off a little bit because, like, I think it's in that first episode. Johnny Lawrence is like, I think he says to Kreese, like, how the hell did you get out of prison? Or like, you know, how the hell are you in Barcelona with all these charges? Then he's like, oh, yeah, well, I'm a veteran with PTSD, you know? Yeah. Who they're going to believe? That person or like that, you know, what happened, you know?
Right.
Which I guess kind of makes sense because he's vulnerable. He claims to be a vulnerable person, you know?
Right.
And, of course, a veteran serving his country. So, of course, that's high regard, especially in America, you know, if someone serves the country.
I'm not too familiar with how the law works, but even if the charges are dropped, if you are in prison and you escape, even if the charges are dropped, you're still a fugitive on the run, which is still a crime, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
You think so?
Because correct me if I'm wrong, you're supposed to go to court and then they say, hey, you're a free man, but if you just take the law in your own hands and escape, I'm pretty sure you still get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Well, you think so? Because I know he said something about self-defense.
What was the self-defense?
Was it when he beat all them people up in the hospital?
Allegedly, the guy stabbed him with the pick or whatever, and he had the Jello pack in his shirt that made it look like it was blood. So, and that's another thing. He faked his own death because you got the evidence that he had a Jello cup in his shirt. So,
well, what he's in prison? What for physical assault on Stingray? I can't remember now.
Yeah, it was Stingray. Yeah.
Okay. So But
then Stingray retracted his story because it was really Silver that beat him up, but he said that Kreese did it.
Yeah, you're right. So that could maybe help his case, but still, escaping from prison, you can't get out of that. I don't think.
Right.
I mean, Rashad with this.
Yeah.
If we really sat down and thought about how the heck John Kreese is in Barcelona, we'd be scratching our heads all day. You know?
And Silver, like none of it makes sense, man. But
at least with Silver, like he's a billionaire, so it makes sense. He's got money. He's got the best lawyers in the world. Like I think the reference at one point saying like his lawyer ripped the case off, and Stingray he mentioned Stingray as well. Yeah. Saying like it wasn't a credible witness or something like that.
The explanation Stingray was not a good.
So I think if they look at like Stingray or like a billionaire, more likely it's going to be like, right, the billionaire will pay the judge off or something, you know?
Right. And not the fact that, and now also mentioned Stingray lied, you know, saying so you can't believe him because he says, okay, well, John Kreese did it. Well, actually, it was Terry Silver that did it, bro. We don't believe you now. You know, you just lost all credibility right there.
Right. So at least it kind of makes sense how Silver got out. And again, he's a billionaire, so he can afford it. Whereas John Kreese has got no money. Well, at least we don't think he's got money, but then he's going to Barcelona. So I don't know.
Whatever, and Barcelona, yeah.
And
it's Cobra Kai, man. Just go with it.
And then he survived. Yeah, then he survived that snake venom bite as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, magic.
Yeah, shout out to Kreese and his stunt double, which was they didn't even try to hide that was a stunt double. If you know the scene I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, how old is he? In the 70s? I don't know. I hate what he is.
Gotta be.
You look at him walk and you're like, there's no way he could fight. I can see him walking. I go, he's too he's not strong enough to, and then he gets in fights. I'm like, there's no way. Like, he can't fight anybody. He's an old man.
When you see him walking, he's all kind of decrepit, but then
Yeah,
when it comes to the fight, he's all bouncing and stuff. And like, that's not Kreese. Come on.
I know. Like, no way.
In those scenes, I'm like, he's in better shape than Rocky and Sylvester Stallone, you know?
Definitely.
Because even in like the end scene, which we'll get to, but like when he's against Terry Silver and that big brawl breaks out, it cuts to the back of his head, and you're like, that's not his back of his head. That's
definitely not his head. Yeah. They don't even try to hide it. They just say, you know what, people gonna know it's a stunt double. Let's just go with it.
Let's go. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, we'll catch on to the series. So part 2, we start out and we actually get into the Sekai Takai tournament. And I'll be honest with you fellas, I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed this tournament. I thought they introduced some really cool teams, like cool personalities. And I think some of the challenges they also had were really interesting.
Yeah.
Like those tag team brawls, and then when they're on like that platform, like up in the air, and I had to like kick them off the mats. I was like, that was one of my favorite challenges, the one on the mats. But what did you guys think of not the Iron Dragons, because they're a special team, but like, what did you guys think of like the team in like the yellow, like the Dublin team? I think the orange team as well.
Dublin, yep.
There's an Australian team that did really well, I think.
The Australian team, and then was it the Slovak team who got disqualified?
Yeah, the red team. What were they?
Yeah.
I can't remember the names of them dojos, I'll be honest. But Rashad, we'll start with you first, man. So what did you think of those teams?
Oh, I thought they were all dope. You know, it was super competitive, because I thought coming into this, they were just going to focus on Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, and everybody else is going to be kind of expendable. You know what I mean? But the fact that they introduced these teams, and these teams are legit threats, you know, now it's like, well, shit, this is not going to be as clear cut as we think it's going to be. You know, everybody was dope in their own way. So I like how they balanced all the teams and gave everybody they shine and made it look like, okay, even though this is a Cobra Kai show, but this is anybody's tournament. You know what I mean? But of course, you know, Miyagi-Do, because they're the main, they have to be up in the finals somewhere. But you're like, all these guys are really good. You know, like the Sekai Takai like exceeded my expectations, because I thought it was going to be like best of the best of Bloodsport. You know what I mean? Which it does take from those. But man, it just like took it to another level, like on steroids, man. Crazy.
Yeah, and I agree. I definitely like the fact that they were all credible threats, and we even get some moments where even Miyagi-Do's in trouble in some of the challenges, which involves Robbie, which we'll get to Robbie.
I got a lot to say about him.
Yeah, I agree. But what about you, Jason? What did you think of the other teams involved in the Sekai Takai?
Yeah, it was really cool getting the different countries and get the different accents of the characters. I don't know. I really like the Australian team. It was actually pretty cool. There was one girl that I kept seeing, this Australian girl, and man, she really had it out for like Sam or somebody. I can't remember. She kept going after somebody. I'm like, what was her beef? I guess I'd missed so kept going after her, but yeah.
Is that the blonde girl?
Yeah, I think it's blonde girl.
Oh yeah, there was. She did have a thing for Sam. Yeah, for some reason.
Was she not on the Dublin team? Like, was it not the Dublin Islanders or Fighters or something?
See, I don't remember Dublin. I remember Australia, but
I don't know.
There could have been.
No, you're talking about, because the redhead girl, she had it out for Sam too. The redhead girl from Dublin, yeah.
I love the guy. He was. They called him he was like Hawk. He had kind of this almost kind of haircut.
Yeah.
And I forget, they called him like the something Hawk. Like, I can't remember what country he was from.
Was that the Brazilian guy that when he came out he would do like the hand raise thing?
Yeah. Hawk or something like that.
Right.
I think where him and Hawk like stare each other down. I was like, oh, that's so good. That's right.
The Brazilian version of himself.
That guy was pretty
right.
Cool. The Brazilian, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I liked him. I thought he was quite a cool character, especially towards the big fight in the end, which we'll talk a lot about that in a moment.
Right.
But I'm glad we all agree on that. Yeah, I think that was really cool. But I talked about my favorite challenge in the Sekai Takai, which was the platform elevated, and it was like 2v2 at a time and that to throw them off over the mats.
Right.
What about you, Rashad? What was your favorite challenge in the Sekai Takai?
That was my favorite challenge just because the way the challenge ended when Miguel got up there and Miguel took on 2 people at one time. And the whole time I'm watching that, Mike, I'm just looking at the screen like, yo, yes, he's Darth Mauling it. He's Darth Mauling. He's taking 2 cats at one time. Ugh. Like I was into it like it was a real like wrestling event, man. So yeah, I agree that was my favorite. That was my favorite competition too.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome to hear. Yeah. I love that moment. I'll talk about that in a moment, but I'm glad you agree with me though. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason, what about you?
Yeah, it's like they watched. Yeah, they're like I can't imagine someone who actually like does karate would watch that and be like that's silly. Like nobody ever does that. You know, like they obviously just made that up for good TV. But I'm watching it going, there's no way you do this in real life. That's what I'm thinking every time I'm watching it. It's like they watch the WWE or Gladiators, whatever, or,
American Gladiators. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Find karate with, WWE and American Gladiators. And it's like, let's have a cage match, or something. It's like they kept coming up with these crazy ideas. Like
Hell in a Cell. That's an idea.
Like, the platform thing, we're doing tag teams now. Like, it's like this isn't karate. Like, I don't know what this is, but it was silly, but it was fun for TV kind of thing. So you're like, okay, and it had some good dramatic moments in it. So I get why they did it because, especially the tag team, because you watch WWE. Like the best part is when one guy is getting beat, and then he makes that great tag, and then the other guy comes in and he starts roughing everybody up. Like that's a great moment, and we get those moments in the tag team part, tag me in, and then Robbie all of a sudden comes Superman at the end and like starts beating up.
Superman.
He's getting beat the whole tournament, and then all of a sudden he's like, all right, now I'm really good. And then because I'm mad.
Oh, well, I'm gonna touch on that later, but go ahead. I'm gonna touch on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, they're silly, but it's like cool for TV kind of thing,
Right.
Well, now, what about? Well, speaking of
that platform, you can kill somebody with that. Even if there's a mat on the ground, you can land on your neck and break your neck. I'm like, this is a terrible idea. Like I'm thinking.
That's why it's a Sekai Takai, man. This is the best of the best. No, but Jason, let me ask you. So the tag thing, like, did you not think that was cool? Where Hawk and Dimitri were like constantly tagging. They were trying to wear that one guy out from Cobra Kai. And even Johnny was like, yo, that is badass. Like they kept like tagging each other in and wearing the guy out and wouldn't let him tag out. I thought that was a dope ass strategy.
Oh yeah, that's what you do as heel. I mean, they're not heels, but in wrestling, make sure they don't tag the other guy in and you just that's wrestling strategy.
Yeah, man.
But it's the only time they ever did that strategy. Yeah, I was like, let's just tag each other in a bunch. Yeah, that was
right.
I love that strategy, but I also love the fact that like Johnny or Daniel never taught the kids to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no.
And they actually taught themselves to do that, and it worked. And I want a tag team. I was like, come on, Hawk, come on, Dimitri, keep tagging each other in. And I thought that was great.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad we all mostly agree, but I get where you come from, Jason, with the platform. They take some big falls onto their mats, Yeah. It's like, I was surprised that someone didn't break the neck during that, but it is. I've got Marvel fan very quickly saying, hi, how are you guys? Hey, Marvel fan, hope you're doing well. And Nigel saying, Cobra Kai, oh my God, I finally watched part 2. Very good. Much better than the highlight got picked up. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, absolutely. Then they go more into like questions, which we'll get to in a little bit later. But yeah, okay, so we're talking about Sekai Takai. We've got to talk about Robbie.
Okay.
Now, this kid annoyed the hell out of me. I don't know about you guys, but man, like, it's like he didn't show any traits of being a captain at all. And like, he wasn't leading the team. He was too much Tory on his mind the whole time. Yeah. Like, and I thought at the forefront of his mind would be, well, if I can win this, I would get this scholarship, or like I think the prize is like a scholarship or some big money prize to go on. I think it is anyway for like college or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
And that should be really at the forefront of his mind to get this college opportunity, because it's the only way he's going to be able to get it, really. Whereas Miguel can get into a school, Hawk can, Dimitri can. It's only him and Tori who can't get that, really.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like, this guy, he was absolutely terrible. The amount of losses he got Miyagi to was insane.
Yeah.
And man, Rashad, we'll go with you first, man. I can tell you're dying to say something about Robbie.
All right. Well, Mike, we've been covering Cobra Kai for a minute, so you know that I used to hate Robbie as a character, right? Absolutely hated him. But season 4 turned it around for me, where now I'm still Team Miguel. Like, you know, I have a biasness. Like, I like Miguel because I'm a day one. But Robbie really grew on me as a character. But I'm going to say this. I agree. Robbie was working my nerves. But the thing about Robbie is that I think that he is the best fighter of all yes. Well, let me explain. When Robbie is dialed in and focused, and when he gets that look in his eye, nobody beats him. But to his detriment, what always takes him out is that he gets distracted too easily. So the reason why he's losing all these competitions is because, you know, that chick across the way, you know, he's distracted. And if you look at the whole duration of this show, Robbie's always been distracted, right? So when he fought Miguel at the school, right, that was all over Sam. Lost his temper. He was losing the fight, but then, of course, he cheated, kicked Miguel over the ledge, right? You go to the All Valley tournament. He almost loses to Kenny, right? He loses focus because Kenny is his Padawan.
Right.
And then Kreese had to snap him out of it like, yo, are you fighting your friend or your opponent? Robbie locks in, fucks Kenny up. All right, same thing when he fights Hawk. There's no way Hawk should beat Robbie. But once again, Robbie had him down, looks up, Kenny distracts him. So Robbie just gets distracted too easily. That's always been his downfall. But man, when he really focuses in and dials in, nobody beats this kid except for Axel. But so I get it. Yeah, I get it. He was just pussy whipped. Let's be honest with Tori had him whipped, but once he got together, he got so that's what. So going back to what you were saying, Jason, that's why he became Superman all of a sudden, because he was always Superman, but he gets sidetracked too easily.
Yeah.
That's always been his downfall. So
I mean,
I still fuck with Robbie, man, but he just don't distract the brother. He'll be okay.
I mean, you make a great point, Rashad. Yeah, he's always been distracted in like the most pivotal of times in a fight.
Right.
I mean, being distracted by Tori, I can understand, you know.
Yeah.
But like Kenny,
even so with Miguel, right? So I was having this argument with my brother the other day. I said on Robbie's best day and Miguel's best day, Robbie edges him out by a little bit.
Okay.
Because think about it, the fight that they had to become captain, Robbie was all in and he won. You know what I'm saying? And both of them was like at 100%. You know, so you could say, well, Miguel beat him at the apartment. Yeah, that's because Robbie held back because he still felt the guilt from kicking him over the ledge. So I don't think Robbie won 100%. But at 100%, Robbie beats Miguel.
Man, that could be a hot take.
Really?
I don't know.
You think so?
Like, I get where you're coming from. I'm not doubting it, because I think it's going to be one of those arguments. It's because, especially in this tournament, how Miguel performed when Robbie was completely down.
Right.
And like that to me felt like a Miguel on like another level at that point. You know, like when he took on those two people on like the top floating platform.
Right.
And he was like, "Come on," you know, like it was like the most I'd ever seen, like an aggressive kind of side of Miguel.
Well, Lorraine, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's by a landslide. I mean, if they fight 10 times out of 10, you know, it'll be even. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying on their best day. But trust me, if they fought a few more times, Miguel will beat them at least once or twice. You know what I'm saying? It is by short and curly, but it's like Rocky and Apollo. Like they're so even. Any day, either one of them can win. But I think Robbie is just by an inch the better fighter.
An inch.
Yeah.
That's an interesting theory, man. I mean, you know, I think you got a point. Yeah, I think like one day one would win, one day the other one would win. And it would be one of those where it's never ending, like Rocky and Apollo, you know.
Right.
Perfect cut out. That picture behind you, number part 3.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, didn't Axel beat Miguel pretty easily? Like Miguel, I mean, Axel took Miguel out pretty easily, but then Robbie, even though he got the best of Robbie too, but Robbie made it more competitive. That kind of goes to show you too, against Axel. Look, you have a better chance of Robbie than Miguel.
I would like to see Miguel v Axel though, especially like in a proper fight, especially when Axel's been giving him the stare down. And Miguel's like, well, what the hell's this guy's problem?
What the hell is this guy's problem?
That shit was gold,
yeah. That was awesome. I agree. But Jason, how about you? We'll throw it over to you. So what was your thought of Robbie Keane so far?
Well, I tell you what, the actor, he really, man, he hit the gym. That guy, man, he looks good with the shirt off. I mean, better than anybody on the show.
Abs.
He got abs, and he had a shirtless scene, I think, the last season as well, and he has one this season. I'm like, man, he definitely hit the gym. I applaud the actor. He really looked the part. The character. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, I'm more of a fan of Miguel probably than Robbie. I've always been, and they're pretty even. Miguel was doing better just because Robbie was distracted the whole tournament, and yeah, I feel for Robbie, I guess, in that sense, being betrayed by his girlfriend in that way. But I feel like the team was undermining him too, though. I don't know. I didn't like the way the team was treating him either. It felt like everything he did, they're calling him out on everything. Like, you did this, you did that. You're not focused, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I thought he was going to give up the captain at one point. It seemed like that's what they were getting to. I'm like, going to give up the captain back to Miguel? But he didn't. But I was like, where are they going with the storyline? He did have some redemption, though, when he found out he was getting played by Quan, whatever. Yeah, then he got focused. All of a sudden, he was like, okay, now I'm mad, and I'm going to beat you up. Like, that was a good redemption moment kind of for the character, where he finally, I'm like, okay, now we're finally getting, a good Robbie. It was a little annoying. I think you said annoying, maybe, of the character. Like, how many times, there's so many times where he's fighting, and then he looks over, he takes one look to Tori, and then he loses. It happens I swear it happened 2 or 3 times. Like, the first time you're like, okay. The second time you're like, really? Third time you're like, come on, Robbie. How
he does that though. Yeah.
They're really pounding that into you that he's thinking about Tori, and that's because it happens every time. Like the platform, I think it happened earlier when they did the protect the egg, whatever part. Yeah, it keeps freaking happening to Robbie. It's like, okay, Robbie, once maybe, but man, you're just
it happens all the time. It costs him the All Valley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he decides to drink himself one night to drink, and he goes after the Zara chick from the Iron Dragons.
Oh man, he scored with the hottest chick there. I tell you what.
Man, you ain't never lie. Yeah. Shit, Zara was hot, boy.
Yeah, man. I was like.
But I mean, he caused his own detriment, though. I know he was on a break as such with Tori, but man, if you're on a break and he clearly loves Tori, I know he was drunk, but he'd be like, nah, look, I've got a girlfriend, at least Sam said to that guy, look, I've got a boyfriend, but there was still something there, Rashad, don't worry. We're gonna get to that. We all know Sam ain't shit. Nah. But with Robbie, I think we all kind of agree, kind of annoying, had a good redemption. And you're right, Rashad, when he was in focus mode at the end and become the leader, I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. This is the Robbie that I want to see,
Yeah. When Robbie has that look, the look I'm talking about, the same look where when Kreese said, are you fighting your friend or your enemy? And that the way he turned and looked at Kenny, you knew Kenny was dead. And that's the same look he had that he gave Quan when Tori said, Quan's playing you. When I saw that look, I said, oh, Quan's done.
Quan's
I said, Quan's done. That's it.
That fight with him and Quan was awesome, though.
Oh, was it?
And Quan, what a great character. I will say.
Quan's great.
He reminds me so much of Chosen. He reminds me so much of young Chosen. If you go watch Karate Kid 2, you're like, oh wow, they're like identical. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Rashad, that's a great point, and I think it would have been quite cool for like Chosen to be like, he reminds me a bit of me when I was younger, you know.
Right.
That would have been quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Even give them a scene where Chosen kind of like, hey man, you don't have to do all this. Like, it kind of share his story, like what happened to him, and like I'm telling you, man, if you keep going down this path, this is what's going to happen, and that can kind of foreshadow what eventually end up happening to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I thought that would have been cool if they had one scene together.
Oh, that'd been great.
Yeah,
man.
That would have been. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe a deleted scene, possibly, because like this show, like it just flies by so fast, like 30-40 minute episodes maximum.
Right.
And it flies over, like the pace that never drags, and there's always something happening. But yeah, Rashad, that would have been a great scene. I would have loved to have seen that. But wasn't to be. But that fight with him and Quan was great.
Dope.
So
I must rewatch that fight at least a few times. I'll just go back and just go right to that part, just watch it from there.
Because Quan is so cocky. He's the cockiest fighter I've ever seen. And see him kind of get taken down a peg was nice.
How you would say love was quarrel?
He kept doing that. I kept going. It's like, shut up, Quan.
Hey.
Man. He knew how to get under his skin immediately, though, and I love that. Like one scene I loved was when they were in that like hangout area, and it was him and Robbie like with that kick competition like on the wall.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh yeah, like the winner gets each other's bedroom. And I love when he won, and then it cuts to the next scene, like Robbie's sharing the bed with like Dimitri or and then Hawk and Miguel or whoever.
Yeah.
Man, that was so funny.
Yeah, isn't that where Dimitri farted or something like that?
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Shit.
Yeah, that was a great scene, and I was wondering how they were going to play that out, because I was like, are they going to pull out like a sofa bed for them to lie on now? Like, what they're going to do?
Nah, they just have to bunk up.
And there's Quan just spread out in the bed by himself.
Yeah, he definitely Quan represents Cobra Kai's identity. So that whole loudmouth, being annoying, being a jerk, that's Cobra Kai 101, man. That's Johnny, Tommy, and Dutch all in one character. Yeah.
But by the way, R.I.P. to Chad McQueen as well, man.
Oh yeah, Dutch, yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame that he never got to come in Cobra Kai as well,
That's right.
The only one missing, really, because even in this, they brought back the kid from Karate Kid 3 to fight Daniel LaRusso.
I was like,
At first, I was like,
with Chad McQueen, I think he was a NASCAR driver or something like that, or he got out of the business like years ago, and he started doing like car racing and stuff like that, like NASCAR.
Because he's Steve McQueen's son, am I right?
Yeah, Steve McQueen's son.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah.
And he was a real martial artist too, because his pops was trained by Bruce Lee.
That's right.
Steve McQueen. So Chad as a kid, he took up martial arts as well. So out of all the Cobra Kai Karate Kid cast, like he was the most legit martial artist out of everybody.
Right.
Yep.
And he was great, and it's just a shame that they've never brought him back for. They probably asked him for a cameo, but he probably said no.
They did. They begged him. Like the showrunners and William Zabka, they all pretty much like, please, just. He said, "Nah, I'm out the business. I don't act anymore. Like I don't do this no more."
Man,
they tried. Trust me, they tried.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but at least he didn't just sell out for a quick payday.
Right.
At the same time, But it would have still been cool to have seen him.
Yeah, just one last time to see the whole crew back together, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, especially as they brought that kid back from Karate Kid 3 as well, I was like,
it's my Mike Barnes.
The long hair.
Dennis. Yes, Dennis. Yeah,
the guy with the long hair. I was like, who thought of this kid from Karate Kid 3 to come back,
He's the only one that we haven't seen, so it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, you guys. My favorite episode is still the one where all the guys get together, and I don't know, that's season 1 or 2 with Johnny in the bar, like. And
where Tommy was sick with cancer.
Yes, and
I think season 2. I think.
Then
the actor
two.
died.
Yeah, that was two. Yeah, that was two.
Okay, that's still my favorite episode. And the actor died in real life. Like,
Yeah.
that episode really gets me when I watch it.
Yeah, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek moment where the last shot is zipping up the body bag, and that's my first thought was, put him in a body bag! Yeah! And I'm like, that's the last thing you see of Tommy in a fucking body bag.
I love that episode because I love that they brought all the Cobra Kai guy back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if only they could have got Dutch, though, that would have been like chef's kiss, man.
That'd been so good.
Yeah. Right.
Mm.
And I think that's kind of what started the whole cameo thing off, really, to like get everyone back from a. I mean, obviously they brought Kreese, but like they actually got the original Johnny's friends back and stuff, the original Cobra Kai.
That was a surprise. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So whereas now I think like when we're watching Cobra Kai, it's like, right, okay, so who else are they gonna bring back from these movies? And I say that kid from Karate Kid through the long hair, I was like, who asked for him?
I think that completes the grocery list, man, because only other characters I can think of probably is Freddy from the first movie, the one that became friends with Daniel before he got jumped, and they all kind of like turned on him. Yeah, and that's basically it. Everybody else I think appeared.
Well, Hilary Swank is the one they would love to get, but I don't know if they're gonna ever get her, but that'd be the one I think they would love to get. Make a cameo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she said they didn't even ask her. They said she said they didn't even ask her to appear.
Yeah,
I think she's coming back. I really do.
That'd be cool. I mean, I'm all for it, but
we'll talk about that at the end with like the part 3 discussion as well. Like what we think is going to happen, because I've got some thoughts on that as well.
Okay.
So we've talked about Robbie. We've given our thoughts about like what we thought of him and how he was so far in the season and the redemption that he had. Let's talk about Miguel. I think we've all said like one of our favorite characters in the whole show. And I do love the fact of how just ruthless this guy is and how he saved Miyagi-Do essentially on a floating platform challenge. Otherwise, they were going to be eliminated. And he made some great points. He was like, well, like if you're not going to lead the team, pass the captain armband to me. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And when he was in that fight against the two orange Karate Do, I like Emma was sleeping. She could hear me from downstairs. I was like, "Come on, Miguel, come on!" I was into that scene massively.
Yeah.
And Jason, we'll go over to you this time. What was your thoughts on Miguel so far?
Miguel has. I think he had the most emotional storyline of everybody this time around, and of course I don't know if you were asked about that, but I mean, or just talking about the part. I mean, Miguel was the strongest fighter probably up till that point when Robbie finally got focused. He definitely was having a good tournament. Like I said, he was kind of undermining Robbie a little bit at times. I felt like, okay, dude, like it's not good for team morale. Trying to take down the captain, all the time. It's like, and then at first I was kind of like annoyed by the way he was treating Johnny at times. But then I mean I don't know if you're gonna get this moment. If I can talk about this moment in the airplane.
Oh man, that nearly had me in tears.
I was crying. I was like, was anybody else in tears during that scene? Like, that was the most emotional scene of the season of this. I mean, this 5, whatever. And that was a great moment, like between the two characters, Johnny and Miguel, and that Johnny calls him his son. Like that got me. I was like, oh my god, like, yes, he's your son too. And moment for both characters. So a lot of great stuff from Miguel.
Well, it's kind of a redemption from season 3, I think it was. I think it's when Miguel was in the bedroom and Johnny. But Johnny comes in drunk, right? And he's Robbie's. He says something. I can't remember the line, but it's something about Robbie
or something.
Because he was drunk in bed, and Johnny was like kind of pouring his heart out, saying that I keep screwing up, and Miguel's like, "No, you're doing fine. I love you." And he says, "I love you too, Robbie."
Love you too, Robbie. Yeah.
And Miguel just kind of has that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that boy. I want to give him a hug at that moment. Like, damn, Johnny, keep fucking up.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that scene on the plane, Jason, man, that was a great scene. Like Miguel sold that, like the tear came as well, perfect time, and I was like, yeah. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, but I get what you mean when you're saying about, like, you know, giving Johnny a bit attitude in certain moments and kind of undermining Robbie. But I think he was caught up in a tournament, I would say. And, like, you know, his dojo, well, you know, Miyagi-Do's about to go home. You know, they're losing every challenge. Robbie was screwing up every challenge because, as Rashad was saying, he was getting distracted at one look with Tori, and then that's it. That was the game.
Right.
You know? But what about you, Rashad? What was your thoughts on Robbie? Not Robbie, man, Miguel.
Miguel was the anchor. So kind of like in the tournament where, you know, Johnny put him as the anchor, he was the anchor of this team. Yeah. He was the backbone. He's the heart of this team. You know, he's the one that got the team back on track. You know, so Robbie was the captain, but Miguel was definitely the leader, the MVP, and then also to show his maturity, how even though he knew he was the more qualified captain, but he stepped to Robbie, was like, look, man, you lead and we'll follow. I'll follow. Like, just lead, man. Like, you got this, you know? So he motivated Robbie. He motivated Daniel and Johnny. You know what I'm saying? He got the team. Like, you know, so, yeah, but Miguel was the MVP to me, man. You know, even though Robbie got his mojo back and he showed the badass that he was, but Miguel is the reason why the team ended up succeeding the way they did. So, yeah, I think he was the MVP of this these 5 episodes. For sure. But he did have one douche moment, like Jason said on the airplane, when he said, what do you say to him? You're going to be like you was when Robbie was born, getting drunk across the street from the hospital. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, low blow. Low blow.
That's a low blow, yeah.
Too much, man. Time out.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Johnny ain't slapped the shit out of him for a minute, man. Because look, if I'm going to play the dad role, I'm playing the dad role all the way. You get a lot, I'm going to smack the shit out of you. Right. You know, don't play with me. Better find you some toys. I ain't the one to play with.
I was going to say I was expecting Johnny to maybe at some point drink like a Coors banquet, but I think it's when they first get to the hotel and he's like, what, €9 for a Coors banquet?
Yeah. And that's so accurate, man. I went to Vegas a few years ago with my pops, and like just like in the refrigerator that they have in the rooms, we went to the Bellagio hotel. And man, a bottle of water was like $6, man. A beer was like $10 and shit. Like, who the fuck gonna pay $10 for this little ass beer? No, lost your mind.
Right? Yeah, I love that little moment though, because it is true, Rashad. Like in hotels, they always charge crazy prices.
Yeah.
I never understand how, you know, but they do.
Well, because they know people usually go back to the hotel drunk, and when you're drunk, sometimes you get the munchies or you get thirsty, and when alcohol kicks in, you don't give a shit. Like, this is only $10, man. I'll go ahead and drink this beer. Then you wake up, you see the bill the next day, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good point. Well, before we keep talking about the characters as well, one thing I do want to mention, Rashad, you touched on it before, the amount of Rocky references in this. Like that scene when they're fighting on the beach, I was like, okay, well, this is Rocky 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you also catch the Rocky 2 reference in the hospital?
In the hospital, yeah.
And I called it before it happened. I told my kids, I said, yo, Rocky 2, watch. And they're going to say they're going to stay, and then she's going to be like, dog, I want you to do one thing for me and win, right? So when the scene happened, my son looked at me like I discovered fire. He says, how did you know that? I said, son, what are you talking to? Like, he was amazed, man. But my daughter was less impressed. My daughter just looked at me. She says, "You are such a nerd." I'm like, whatever, man.
But it's true. Like we already know in the past seasons, they've taken homages from Rocky. You know,
right?
Especially like Danny and Johnny fight one in the end of seasons where they're fighting and there's cuts. You know, Rocky 3.
Did they run up the stairs at one point?
Yep, they ran up the stairs. Yep,
they ran up the stairs. It was like the Philadelphia stairs in that montage scene.
Right, Rocky 2.
Well, it wasn't Philadelphia, but it was Barcelona stairs.
Barcelona, yeah. Yes, there was 2 Rocky 2 references and like 1 Rocky 3, like you said, on the beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he wouldn't have run up the stairs, and then like Robbie and Sam at the top, like, yeah. I noticed that as well. One thing I am going to touch on though, because we've been talking about the Rocky references, Rashad and Jason. One thing I'm going to touch on is one of the gripes I have is they get to the hospital with Carmen because they're worried that Carmen could die. The baby, there could be something wrong with the baby. There's massive blood, and obviously, of course, Aubrey's saying here and in the hospital when they thought Carmen died.
Right.
And I thought that was a great scene on the airplane. Like, I mean, that guy who got punched in by Miguel at the end, I was like, thank goodness someone shut that guy up, you know?
Right.
I knew it was building to something like that. But one of my gripes is they get to the hospital, they see Carmen, they realize she's fine, and they have that really nice family moment. Yeah. And they're not 2 minutes in Los Angeles, and they're back on the plane over to Barcelona.
Yeah.
And then also I'm like, well, how have they afforded to pay for this flight?
LaRusso Auto, man.
Johnny's broke.
No, I'm saying Amanda. Amanda LaRusso Auto. Okay. That's how she was able to send Kenny on the plane. Say, yeah, put Kenny on the plane. They got the money.
And we've never seen LaRusso Auto since, so I hope the business is doing well. We
don't know. Someone's looking at the expenses. Johnny, Daniel, look at these expenses.
Hey, they had a going out of business sale and cashed in.
I was gonna say, like 14-year-old boy Kenny flight to Barcelona. Johnny flight from Barcelona to LA, and Miguel, two tickets on the next flight back to Barcelona.
It's Cobra Kai, man. Just roll with it, man. I'm gonna say that probably at least 20 more times in this live stream. Look, it's Cobra Kai, man. Just roll with it.
Right.
This is like a fantasy world where karate is like the most important thing in the world. It's funny because you forget, like, wait, they have regular jobs and lives here, and they all put it on hold for karate.
And Jason, and also in this universe, this is the only universe where you can study karate for 2 weeks and become an expert.
I know. That's the most unrealistic part. I think the whole stuff is like six like a champion. And I'm thinking Kwan's probably been training since he was a kid.
His whole life. Yeah.
In life, Kwan would wipe the floor off with all the Miyagi-Do people, I think, in real life, but it's a show.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it goes back to the first movie. You know, Johnny, the rest of those guys, they trained since they was 13, and Daniel had 3-4 months of training. He took out the whole squad by himself on one leg.
It's very unrealistic. I'm thinking like I'm not gonna. I don't know, because I played basketball as a kid and in high school, and I'm thinking, if you have a kid that's been playing basketball since he was 6 years old, and then you have someone come in and just learn to play, he's not gonna. It's gonna take a little bit to get to that level.
Right. I mean, unless you're like that talented. Like I have seen situations where, like, I used to wrestle, right, and you have kids that wrestle since they was like in diapers. And then you'll have that one thoroughbred who never wrestled a day in his life, gets on the mat and just wipes the floor with everybody because he's just naturally bigger and stronger. Right, you're like, man, this ain't no fair, man. How the hell this dude just beats everybody?
Right. You're right. Unless you have the physical.
I mean, it does happen. I mean, it's rare, but it does happen.
Right.
But I'm not gonna go out there and beat LeBron James all of a sudden in a 1-to-1.
Hell no.
Or whatever. It's like
I've trained 4 months with Michael Jordan. I can take LeBron now. Fuck
it takes some time to get your. I don't know anything about karate really, but I don't know how long it takes to get like a black belt. I'm guessing you have to train for a while, but
you've got to. I don't know a lot about it, but you've got to go through your belt. You've got to go through the belt ranks. You've got to train so much to get the first belt. Then you've got to do more moves to get the next one. Right. You basically got to keep going until you get to the black belt status, So I'm guessing a while, You can't just go from belt 1 week to the next belt the other week,
Oh, yeah. He said in a couple months, these guys were like champions. It's like, what? Like...
Yeah, well, think about it. Daniel going into that first tournament, because remember, Mr. Miyagi stole the black belt. Yeah. That's how Daniel was able to wear it. So technically speaking, all these black belts got beat by a white belt because the white belt is the first one.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. Well, it's Cobra Kai. Just roll.
Just roll with it. Just roll with it, bro. Just roll with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. We've got a lot of comments. We'll get to some of you guys' comments as we talk on the stream, because we've got a lot of comments about what we think's going to happen in the next kind of part and stuff like that, which is all good. So we're talking about the Rocky references. We're talking about Johnny going back to, and I would have liked in that episode Johnny and Miguel maybe to have been missing for the first 15 minutes of the next episode, just to make it a bit more realistic that they got the plane over to back to Barcelona. But yeah, so the next character we're going to talk about, we'll stick with the kids, then we'll go with the adults. Sam LaRusso. Rashad, I'm going to let you go first because I know you got a lot to say on Sam.
Okay, I held off. I've been thinking about doing this video for a couple of years now. Sam LaRusso ain't shit. And I held off because in some ways, Sam kind of redeemed herself. And she's looking hotter these days. You know, I don't know if y'all know it, but Sam, she done put on some weight. That woman weight done kicked in. She don't look like, she ain't no damn kid. But I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, I'm gonna leave Sam alone. Now I'm like, no. After these last 5, Mike, I am going in. You hear me? I mean, I'm putting my ankle in this shit. Sam LaRusso is the messiest character on this show. Mm-hmm. Out of all the people that you could attract, Mike, she attracts the most dangerous guy in the tournament. And okay, I get it. She felt bad because the sensei was beating him. He was abused. That's not your concern. I mean, okay, if you felt any kind of guilt, go to the authorities and tell them what's happening. I'm pretty sure he's not even. I'm pretty sure he's still a minor. I'm assuming. So if you want to do anything, do that. But you step to him alone on a beach, just you two. You're an attractive girl. You know you look good. You think this boy just gonna look at you and say, I like you for your intellectual conversation? No. He's gonna want to smash, man. You know what I'm saying? She knows this. And then she tries to play it off like, oh, I hope I didn't give you the wrong idea. You know what you was doing. You did the same thing to Robbie. You did the same thing to Miguel. Did the same thing to Robbie again. All right. When you and Miguel started talking, you're having mixed feelings now. Well, Robbie, you hurt me too. She's messy. Yeah. And I hate to use the W word, man, but it rhymes with Thor. All right. That's the word that I have for Sam. All right. She's a whiny, privileged little brat with a lot of mouth. She has fighting skill. The girl can fight. But I'll take Tori any day because Tori got that dog in her. You know what I'm saying? I think Tori, even though she's less skilled than Sam, but I think Tori will walk the dog on Sam. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up with that, man. Sam is not shit more than ever before. I do not like her. She is easy on the eyes. She's looking better than she ever has with that woman weight. But Sam can kick rocks. And that's all I got to say about her.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. She could have easily reported it to the commission because she sees the trainer beat him. Mm-hmm. And then she also sees on his back, the guy's got like beat marks bruises, on his back.
Yeah.
And then how would they explain that away to the tournament officials, you know?
Right.
You can't just say, oh, he fell. You know, that's a beaten mark, you know?
Right. And it's like, you do the right thing of, okay, I have a boyfriend or whatever, but still, don't put yourself in that position where that could even happen. If you know you have a boyfriend and you see this dude with his shirt off training, do not step to that guy. Because one, people are watching all over. You don't think somebody's going to say, yo, Sam was on the beach with this dude with his shirt off. And then two, what happened? This guy, now he has eyes for you. It's a Beauty and the Beast situation where now he's looking at her every second. And the whole reason why Quan died is because he pushed her.
Yeah.
Think about it, man. Quan died because of Sam. Miguel got his back broke because of Sam. Robbie cannot go to school now because of Sam. Everything bad that happens in the show is because of Sam LaRusso. Tell me I'm lying, Jack.
Nah. I mean, she was the one who started the original beef with Tori. Got Tori this bad rep with everyone.
Yeah. Yep. And if we take it back to the beginning, I'm going to go back way to the beginning. The whole reason why this rivalry restarted back with Johnny and Daniel is because Sam's drunk-ass friends wrecked his car.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, Johnny and Daniel would have had no reason to even associate with each other anymore. And the rivalry would have never reignited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sam ain't shit. Oh, I can't wait to do this video.
I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait.
Get some drink in you tonight, Rashad, after this, and get onto it, man.
Unfortunately, I can't, man. I'm on a fast right now. So I got a colonoscopy tomorrow, man. So I'm actually on a clear liquid diet right now as we speak. Yeah,
okay.
So I can't put nothing in my body except for this shit that the doctor told me to take to flush me out. I'll be lighter, you know. But yeah, come tomorrow, they're gonna stick a damn camera up my butt and see what's happening in there.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that all goes okay, Rashad. Anyway, I didn't know.
Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, I mean that's just, you know, when you turn 45, you gotta do shit like that. So the moment I turned 45, they said, "Oh, you want to schedule your colonoscopy?" I said, "Why not? Go ahead."
Oh man. Well, at least this will get a bit stress anyway. A bit stress reliever stuff.
Oh yeah.
Man. But yeah, I agree, Rashad. Jason, do you agree with us, or do you have any different thoughts on Sam LaRusso?
No, she's the weakest character in my opinion on the show. I never cared for her storylines.
Yeah,
she's definitely. I feel like, you know, your A storyline is going to be Johnny and Daniel and Miguel and Robbie and Tori, you know, and maybe Kreese in there. You know, that's going to be your main storylines. They gave her, this B storyline with she's concerned over Axel's being used, you know. I don't know. I wonder if that's going to go anywhere, because then at the very end of the show, of course, it feels like none of that matters now because we have a new problem.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious because I thought, okay, this might be going somewhere. This is how they defeat Iron Dragon. Is she turns Axel, you know, against the sensei or whatever or something, you know, because Iron Dragon seemed what's the word, you know, unbeatable. Like you can't
invincible.
It really feels like an invincible group. So I'm like, how are they going to get past Iron Dragon? And that might be the way. We'll see. But so they kind of were going somewhere, but we'll see, I guess, in the next 5 or whatever. But yeah, it's just a B storyline. I didn't care much for Sam, but
well, I think there's two kind of gripes I've got as well with the show writing and also Sam. I think number one, I don't know about you guys, but the relationship with Miguel seems to be non-existent. Like, they don't act like boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, are they boyfriend? I forgot, and I'm like, I guess they are.
Yeah, I think you see them hold hands like one time. You see them like, well, the scene where they were in line together, they were holding hands, and Axel saw them, and he was like giving Miguel the side eye, and Miguel's like, like, what's your problem?
Yeah, but it was only like that one scene though. Apart from that, they don't act like a couple or anything.
As there, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then my second gripe, in a way, is it seems as if they've almost forgot about Miguel's Miguel's back injury. Like, ever since that injury and he's recuperated, they're like, his back's fine now. He's back to normal.
I mean, he's a teenager. You know, teenagers have regenerative abilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're a teenager, you could break your whole wrist in 2 days, it's back healed again. You can, like, it never broke. So let's just put it on that, man. It's just teenage regenerative abilities.
Man, he's regenerated like Wolverine, I think. You know,
exactly.
Yeah, they just never address his back injury or any concerns for his back or anything. And I'm like, the guy nearly died. You know?
Yeah. Oh, paralyzed. I've been paralyzed.
Right.
That's kids for you though. Like, why'd you like? You know, well, Jason, you got kids, right?
No.
Oh, you got okay. Well, when you have kids, you'll see like there's shit that you're gonna see your kids do that you can be like, holy shit, that should have killed them. And they just pop up like, okay, I'm ready to play now. I don't see my son flip, man. My son used to flip off of shit and land on his head. Boom. I'm like, oh, damn, you okay, man? And he just like, all right, let's go play now. I'm like, how the fuck did you get up from that?
Yeah.
These kids, man, they can recover, you know. But see me, I break something, that shit just stays broke. It just, you know, it never.
Yeah.
The drugs getting older.
As you get older, you just when your body just says fuck it, and just something broke, it just stays broke. You know, it never heals right.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we all pretty much agree on Sam though. Just not a great character, not really great writing for her. Like, you're right, Rashad. She had a bit of a redemption, and then it's kind of like They went back to like being there's no redemption for this character. I mean, I'll be intrigued to see, of course, when we get into the part 3 theories, like how they'll finish her character off. Probably a redemption arc, I'm guessing, but I don't know.
And what about the shade that she threw towards Tori when Miyagi-Do won, right? And when Cobra Kai first got eliminated, and Cobra Kai's walking off the mat, and she sees Tori, she says, "I wish you were here celebrating with us." And I'm like, "Come on, man! You really had to do that?" You know, I mean, I don't know if they wrote that to be sincere, but come on, man! I took that as shade. She was throwing crazy shade. Like, yeah, you should have been here celebrating with us, but nope, you're a loser. Bye.
Yeah, it's almost kind of came across like sarcastic. Like even when in the aquarium part, and she was like, you know, I can respect your decision for choosing Cobra Kai, but when we get to the mat, there's going to be no respect, or you know, we're going to go in, you know.
Right.
And I'm just like, you don't respect that she's gone to Cobra Kai. You don't care.
Exactly.
You're in this tournament as the captain because she left.
Right.
So yeah. She ain't shit, Rashad. I can't wait for this video.
Oh, I'm coming, man. I'm coming with razor blades and lemon juice. It's on.
I can't wait. So we'll touch on Tori. So I think we all kind of agree: best written character, best development, probably a lot of the emotional beats as well. I would say.
Yeah.
I would say more in the first part. She was probably, I think we said like last season, first part, kind of like Oscar acting as such with the mom. You know, in the first part.
Yeah.
But I think even here she balances it great with the turmoil with Robbie, where she's balancing if she should really be in Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai. And then, of course, she's the same thing for her. She wants to be on this podium with Robbie at the end.
Right.
And, of course, if she wins with the girls one, she'll get this scholarship or the college scholarship as well. The only way she's ever going to get to college is such because the only way that she can afford it. So, yeah, Rashad, what did you any other thoughts on Tori?
Yeah, well, also too, I agree with everything you said, and I think also Tori had like an epiphany later on because when she was talking to Kim, Sensei Kim, and she had that whole thing where she's like, let me ask you, is it worth it? Like all the stuff you went through and everything, like, so I think she's having like a real turnaround moment, like, oh, this shit ain't worth it, like, well, what am I doing? And then I think she got through to Kim because if you notice, Kim had tears in her eyes when Tori was talking to her. So you could tell that hit her to the core. But then she had to kind of Cobra Kai up and be like, nope, yes, it was absolutely worth it, and then walked away. So, I think we're going to see a different Tori the next 5 episodes. I think now winning the Saikai Takai is no longer like important to her anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because like, okay, I lost my mom. I was mad about that. But now, me and my boyfriend, we're on the outs. These guys are my friends, she said, like, I'm not fighting, but these are my friends, and like, so I think Tori's definitely, I don't want to say going to soften up, but she's definitely taking a face turn. I guess I'll put it simply like that, She's going from heel to face, so from heel to face to heel, then back to face again. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like for the longest time she was like in a heel. The longest time you didn't like the character or she got on your nerves, and then she had like the big redemption, and then it's like her weakness is kind of John Kreese in a way. Like, she's desperate, so he's always seems to be there for her.
Yeah, like her savior almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess the one she connects with the most too, because Kreese is like the only one that can really connect with her as far as what she's been through in life, So like Robbie and everybody else, like they kind of had a better life than she did, but Kreese understands exactly where she's coming from, and that's why she has that connection with him.
I love that scene as well, by the way, when Cobra Kai get eliminated, and then they're about to head home, and then of course the Solvac team, they're on performance enhancers, so they got disqualified. But I love that scene when they're in the gym, her and Quan, and they're training, and she's having like this doubt in her mind, and then Kreese calls her out, and he's like, Well, when are you going to improve?
Yeah.
He says to her, like, when are you going to do this? Not like, oh, give it time, you'll get better. He calls her out and says, look, improve now or you're out.
Right. Right.
And I thought that was a great scene with Kreese and Tori as well. And it kind of snapped her to be like, right, this is important. I need to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And likewise, like Kreese's Tori's weakness, at the same time, Tori and Johnny are Kreese's weakness. You know what I'm saying? He has a weakness for both of them.
I think his number one weakness is always going to be Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah, for sure.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a big moment in the end fight, which we'll touch on.
Yeah.
Jason, how about you? Anything else to add to the Tory discussion?
No, yeah, I kind of what Shad said, I guess. Yeah, she definitely is having her doubts and regrets. I think. It feels like she's just fighting for. I mean, her mom died, and now she's. I don't know. It's almost like a pride thing. Like she wants to do this for her mom, almost, or she wants to prove herself. Like she's, there's something she's trying to prove more than anybody else. It feels like in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know if it's for money or if it's for scholarship. I don't know if she cares about that as much. Maybe she does. I don't remember her talking about it. I guess this always just seemed like someone says something like you'll make your mom proud. And she goes, I hope so. So I always felt like that's her thing, is just making her mom proud, in some way. Like this means more to her because of that, if that makes sense. Like, she wants to prove something, which is interesting for the character, which I want her to win now, because like, hear about Sam, I'm like, Sam, what does she win? It doesn't seem to have emotional, there's not going to be emotional victory behind Sam, but Tori, there'd be an emotional victory in a way, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think with Tori, it's been, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say very quickly. I think with Tori, I think it's more like she's more of a rootable character, because Sam's come from money and had that background, and Daniel, an expert karate teacher, Daniel LaRusso, right?
Right.
Whereas Tori's had no karate professional. She's struggled with bills. She's had to work multiple jobs, which Sam got her fired in her job. By the way, remember there's another one for you, Rashad.
Right.
You got Tori fired in her job.
I'm taking notes, trust me. I'm taking all this inventory. Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course Tori's had no money, so she's fought for everything that she's had in her life,
Yeah.
So I just want to add that in. I think she's probably the most rootable for that reason as well,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say that, Mike. That Tori comes from nothing. So we all know Sam. No matter what happens, Sam's going to be okay. She still has mommy and daddy to fall back on. But Tori, like was same with that was her mindset at the All Valley. Like, listen, I just want to prove for once that I'm the best at something. Like she just really wants to prove herself, like Jason said. So Tori needs this. She has to have this. Sam don't need this shit. Sam can lose and then still run her dad's business years from now.
Right. Yeah, like her and Anthony, but LaRusso Auto in the future.
Right.
Yeah, got Minaj saying, Sam's the weakest character, and she turns more heel than Big Show. That's a great comment. That's so true.
Yeah.
Man, Big Show would be good guy one week, heel the next week. And
Big Show didn't know what the hell he wanted to be. Vince didn't know what to do with that guy.
No. That's very true. So the next characters we're going to talk about. In a way, it's been a bit frustrating for me, this one, but Hawk and Dimitri, the Binary brothers, who have had a solid brotherhood for most of the show. In a period of time, of course, they fell out when, opposite dojos. And then I think it was season 3 when they had that huge fight and they came back together. And I think Hawk saved him. He had a face turn.
Yeah.
And then in this season, they've just been at war the whole season. And then Hawk got Dimitri's girlfriend to dump him, basically.
What a dick move, man.
but at the same time, Hawk was the show in the club. And Dimitri was giving advice, being like, oh, hey, look, don't dance with the girls. You've got a girlfriend.
Right.
And then Dimitri goes and dances with that girl.
But Mike, he shouldn't even been filming that anyway. Like, listen, we're in Barcelona. Let the girlfriend stay and call your girlfriend the next day when you're at the hotel room. You don't FaceTime your girlfriend at the damn club when you're hanging with the homies, man.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's like sucker move 101. And then when you panned it, you didn't think for a second that Dimitri's gonna be on camera, and dick move, man. Dick move, Hawk.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the redemption that they had? However, in the locker room, do you think it was deserved or well earned, or
it happened too quick? It felt like it wasn't deserved. You're right. It felt like all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, really? Like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that was a little weak on how they got back together all of a sudden,
Mm.
and everything's given, I guess. And I'm like, really, like, because you guys have been at each other it's the whole season. It seems like they've been really at each other, and I kind of hated that because those are my like two favorite characters, is those two, because they're funny, and the Binary Bros thing is so great. Like the biggest laugh I had the whole time was when they started fighting together, and Chosen goes, "Binary Bros back together," and I was like,
Yeah.
"That was so great having Chosen."
Yeah.
So, like, I'm like, even Chosen knows about the Binary Bros.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? A part of me was thinking, I don't know if y'all felt this way too, but a part of me was thinking, like, are they trying to, like, I feel like they was kind of setting up for a spinoff show of the Binary Brothers. So I feel like a lot of the scenes together was like, okay, let's see how people react to this, and if they get a positive reaction, we'll give you your own show.
Yeah,
I think if they're going to do a spin-off, that would be the best show idea to go with.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I'd watch that.
Like them two in college, and maybe the girlfriends in college with them, or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
they should go to college together. But of course, we'll see what happens there.
But I will say this though, they did piss me off the way they treated Kenny. I didn't like the way they treated Kenny when he came back.
Yeah,
I mean, I can understand the paranoia somewhat, but it's like, come on, man. Like, unless he shows me otherwise, look, I'm gonna trust my senseis. They bring this guy in. We need help on our team. Kenny's a good fighter.
Yeah,
let's go. But the whole time, no, don't tag him in. Don't tag him in. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, I noticed that, and especially when, if you remember at the start of season 6, they all had that competition in the forest.
Right.
It was going to be, who was going to go to Barcelona with Mike Barnes, Johnny Lawrence in the forest and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenny was there as well at the time.
Right.
And yeah, as you said, Rashad, they kept doubting him, thinking he was going to go back to Terry Silver, and they just tried him, like, didn't even give him a chance, really.
Didn't give him a chance. I mean, even when they was listening to the conversation when Devin was, confessing, saying that, hey, I was the one that did that. I'm sorry about that, whatever. And Hawk is like, see, he's still mad about that. He's still mad about what she did. I'm telling you, he's a traitor. I'm like, Kenny, fuck him up. I'm like, Kenny, well, would you go kick Hawk's ass and then kick Dimitri's ass after that? Like, seriously.
The funny thing is, in that scene, though, I don't know if you guys noticed, when Hawk was saying, like, oh, he's still mad about that, it was sat talking to Devin, smiling and laughing.
Yeah.
Like, they were sat talking and, like, laughing and smiling together.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he doesn't look mad about that.
He's having a
conversation with her,
That's right. I ain't thinking about that. That's a good point, though. Yeah.
There you go. Hawk ain't shit.
Hawk ain't, for a little bit. I still rock with Hawk. Just for that moment, and even when Kenny did prove himself, and now they want to be like, oh yeah, all right, Kenny. I'm like, shut up. All right. Y'all should have had his back to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they all started cheer Kenny. Yeah, I was like, oh, Kenny. I was like, punch them or something,
Yes. Yeah.
Because
they almost cost him the competition because Kenny was the clear person to tag in. Like, no, don't tag him in. Idiot.
You notice Hawk's like go-to moves, like the Roman Reigns like super punch or something
Superman
like that?
punch, yeah.
Then he jumps up and they do a Hawk sound every time.
Yeah.
Every time he jumps in, they make a Hawk sound, and then he jumps up.
Yeah, that's his signature, man. The Superman punch.
Is that a karate move? Superman.
He tried that on Robbie. Robbie kicked his ass unconscious, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Someone got a really good kick on him when he did that.
Yeah, it was Robbie when the season 2 when they were at the mall. They were having that mall fight, and he jumped and he tried to do that to Robbie, and Robbie caught him with a roundhouse, and Hawk went to sleep.
You stuff open when you do that.
Yeah.
It's not a good move, probably, but.
Well, I mean, if you can land it, yeah, but if not, then you're gonna take a little nap. You're gonna take a nap.
I think it still amazes me that Dimitri made it to the finals in the team. Like,
I know,
he's been one of the worst fighters Miyagi-Do's ever had.
Yeah, well, take his place though. I mean, you got Penis Breath, and you got what's the other the big black dude?
Yeah, I didn't see
the home.
him.
Damn, I forgot his
I
name.
know who you talked about.
Yeah, you got him. And that's it. They have Anthony LaRusso, and so Dimitri was pretty much the bottom. You know, that was the best side of the worst.
I'm surprised with the show's direction, though. They never went with Anthony LaRusso because they've spent so much time with Daniel teaching Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, in the last few seasons, maximum, they've kind of been teaching Anthony more karate.
Right.
And you'd think they'd try and make it more of like a family affair and have like Lepusso in there as well.
Yeah, but I don't think people would have, because this show's already far-fetched. It would have been really far-fetched if you throw Anthony LaRusso in, the little fat kid from the first season. Now he's in the Sakai Taka with the best karate fighters in the world. Nobody's going to buy that.
So Kenny comes in to take Miguel's place, but then Miguel comes back. So they have too many members now, right? Or what's going on there?
Ooh.
Well, Devin kicked out, didn't she? Devin dropped out, so Kenny could come in.
Took Devin's place. Okay.
Devin's place, yeah.
Right there.
But also with Quan being out now, Cobra Kai is going to be down a fighter. That is if they continue with the tournament.
Yeah.
So who could replace Quan?
Right.
Well, yeah, because the thing is as well, if they continue the tournament, Quan beat that Brazilian Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So he's earned a place in the final.
Right.
So, and I don't think Cobra Kai really have another really strong male fighter that could beat Axel or Robbie, you know?
Nah. I mean, they had that one guy that was from the first part of season 1, but he wasn't on Quan's level though. You know, I mean, he was good.
He's good though.
He was really good, but he wasn't on Quan's level though.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see who they would step in instead of Quan and have them fight in the final.
So is it possible we could see another heel turn, possibly a turncoat, maybe somebody that you know?
Because we thought Kenny would, but Kenny's not doing that. It seems like Kenny's turn. So
right.
Well, especially when Kenny gave Terry Silver the big middle finger as well.
Yeah.
In the big middle finger. That's right.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, I was like, is he going to go back to Terry Silver?
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But then
it would have made sense because Terry Silver is an evil bastard too. Yeah. But the difference between Terry Silver and Kreese is that Kreese is just pure evil, but Terry Silver is an evil that, damn, he's an asshole, but he's right. You know, to quote your boy Sam from not Winter Soldier, but Civil War. He's like, you know what? He's a jerk, but he's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Terry Silver's just trying to, like, I guess, better himself and the karate, you know, like he's trying to expand the karate.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of surprised Kenny didn't go back, but it kind of makes sense with the redemption arc he's going through. And LaRusso threatening to have diarrhea himself.
Yeah.
I guess that fixes.
Fix things, give himself diarrhea.
Yeah, well, I think Amanda too. I think Amanda was definitely the biggest reason why Kenny, turned face, because Amanda just has that touch, man. Amanda you can be pissed off having the worst day, man. Amanda just put her shoulder on you, just be like, listen, let me holler at you. She's a car salesperson, come on. She got the gift of gab, so yeah, she was the main reason why Kenny turned out the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, she did that for Tori as well. Same
with Tori, yeah.
Amanda, the good thing about Amanda is I think she realizes these are kids that have complicated, a lot of complicated things are going in their lives, and she's definitely like willing to forgive, and to give people second chances. Yeah, I like that about Amanda. She is definitely the good one to like talk to people, and Daniel gets a little hot-headed, or Johnny gets a little hot-headed.
Right.
Well, you got to think throughout the entire 6 seasons, Amanda's only been the voice of reason.
Yeah.
She's always been like, "How far are you guys going to go for karate?"
Yeah. She's like,
and then that death in season 6 at the end, she's like, "Well, I told you so all this time,"
Right.
Like, at the end of the day, she was like, "Daniel, you've got a car business to run."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because you already know Amanda, she's not really the biggest fan of karate. She's just like being supportive. Where do you think she goes from here after seeing on live TV this dude get impaled? This kid, this baby gets impaled on live TV. Like, okay, damn, that's enough. Like,
that's enough, probably.
This is it. Like, no more karate.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, given Daniel LaRusso, he's never going to stop karate.
Nah, probably not. Probably
Never
not. I mean,
gonna stop.
you never know, because the whole thing with Miyagi and that little dream sequence he had where he was fighting young Miyagi, which was a dope scene, by the way. The way they CG Pat Morita, and I'm like, holy shit. I mean, I knew it was CG, but I'm like, damn, that looks just like Pat Morita.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Daniel might be done with karate himself, man.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, well, Marvel fan had a question. I know he said, what was your thoughts on the CG/AI, Mr. Miyagi? Minajo says, I thought bringing him back was not a wise decision.
Nah. I thought it was dope.
Yeah, I was impressed. I was like, wow, the technology now to bring him back all of a sudden, that was cool.
Mm-hmm. Even young Miyagi, I thought that was good casting with the young Mr. Miyagi. Like, that looked like a young Pat Morita.
Yeah, and seeing me like Pat Morita's face again, I was like, wow, that's surreal, you know?
Right.
Yeah, because we're really missing him in this whole story. Unfortunately, if he wouldn't have passed away, man, it'd been so great to have Pat Morita in the show. But
yeah, definitely.
I agree. But another talking point we've got to talk about, which is Marvel fan said, he says about Chosen and Kim making a great couple.
Yo.
Yeah. We were going to get to that, but we're going to get to that now. Yeah, so of course we find out here that Chosen goes to see Kimiko. Kimiko is now with a brand new man, so we think.
I don't know what's going on there, yeah.
Listen. If we know anything about this show, y'all, it's that nothing is what it seems.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with Cobra Kai. So I'm assuming that was probably like her gay cousin or something like that was crashing there. It was something, it was a big misunderstanding. That's not her man, not her boyfriend or husband. It was like a relative or maybe like a masseuse.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Like yeah.
We're going to carry on. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
I agree. I think there's more to that story than what they're lending on.
Yeah.
He kind of jumped to conclusions, it felt like.
Jason, we do that. I've done that. I can't tell you how many times I've done that, man, over my life. Like, oh, you seeing him? Okay, fine. Go ahead and see him. Rashad, it's not like that. Well, who is it then? That's my cousin. Oh, your cousin? Oh shit. My bad.
Yeah, I was a bit torn with that scene, to be honest, because I think it's one of two things. Either Rashad, you're right, and it's not as it seems. Mm-hmm. Because especially as they got Kimiko back before, it'd be weird not to do it again.
Right.
But then at the same time, it's kind of like, well, actually, have they actually asked Kimiko to come back? Mm-hmm. And if not, that could be a way to write her out and say, well, look, she's got a happy ending.
Right.
And now he has a chance of a happy ending with someone who seems like a really bad person, but actually, she's not a bad person.
Yeah.
She's not. Kim proved that she is human, and Chosen put it on her good enough to where, even remember when Chosen tried to downplay it, he was like, oh, yeah, we ran into each other by mistake. She says, mistake.
Yeah. But then it's one of those things where she kind of undermined herself, because after the event of, they have a night of fun, let's put it that way. Right. She's like, yeah, we never speak of this. This never happened.
Right. We keep it strictly professional.
What's happening?
Yeah. And then when he says a mistake, she's like, what did you just say?
Yeah, it's about mistake.
What happens in Barcelona stays in Barcelona.
Shoot.
Right.
And she knows she was feeling him.
I was because they kind of hinted at it, I thought, when they were in the bar. I was like, are they? Is something happening between these two?
Yeah.
Something's happening here. And when they kissed, I was like, "Oh my gosh, they did it!" Like,
happened. Yeah, I knew, Jason. I knew the moment where she says, "Oh, you don't like girls." I said, "Oh yeah, she's baiting him."
Yeah,
baiting him. Yeah,
that was real fun. I was like, "Oh, that was a relationship I didn't think I needed, but I loved it."
Shout out to Chosen, man.
Chosen, man, he still got it. I don't know how old he is, but
yeah,
he still got it.
Oh yeah.
Well, Chosen's shown that even if whoever he fights, he can still beat them. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you remember when he used that paralyzation move on Daniel.
Yeah.
Since, like no one else has done a paralyzing move like that. And maybe Terry Silver with like a deadly kick.
Yeah.
You know, or the tease like that kick to the heart, that guy who Terry Silver.
Well, remember Terry
guy.
Silver? Well, Terry Silver got that one move that the silver bullet that he taught Kimmy.
Right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, like the silver bullet or chosen with the paralyzation. They're like the two most deadliest moves we've seen, really.
Yeah. And look, and speaking of which, I think they're definitely gonna need chosen, because when Daniel and Johnny went up against the what's the one sensei, he played Cole from Mortal Kombat. I forgot what his name was on the show.
The guy with the steak with the buffet.
Yeah, that guy is like, it took Daniel and Johnny.
Oh yeah,
because Johnny by himself couldn't take him. And then but then I kind of laughed because they were taking him together, and then Johnny ran off and left Daniel by himself.
Yeah, Johnny was like one hit, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, you don't want no part of him. Yeah, that guy is lethal, man. So
that guy's good.
Yeah. Johnny was like one hit. He's like, "Oh, Kreese, you need some help?" I'm
he didn't want no part of that. So this is probably gonna take all three of them to take that guy, because wasn't he like a 3-time like UFC champion or something like that? He's the real deal.
Yeah.
Well, it showed that scene when Terry Silver approached him in the cage, and he took that guy out with like a kick to the heart, didn't he? And took him out.
Maybe.
He catches Daniel with that shit, because Daniel got that kind of chest that caves in. If you notice, like Daniel's shoulders kind of come like this, and his chest kind of goes in. So if he catches Daniel with that kick, man, it's over.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Chosen would be one who could possibly beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think it would be the paralyzation move, though. I think.
Yeah.
But I think I could easily see what Marvel fans saying here. I could easily see this being an outcome of Chosen story in Cobra Kai.
It could be.
Kim having a redemption story, getting a happy ending when, as you just mentioned, Rashad, when Tori had that speech with her, and you could tell that she did regret it, because she really likes Chosen.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously when Chosen said it was a mistake, she's like, no, absolutely it was worth it,
It's my word, where she was like, where Tori was like, yeah, you're going to say, forget about the boy. And she's like, no, you think you're the only girl who's had her heart broken? And then she looks at Chosen.
Yeah. And it goes back to this comment, though. And it goes back to, like, you said there, Rashad, like how she felt.
Right.
Like she was starting to have kind of regrets about karate because she found someone she liked with Chosen. And then, of course, he messed it up,
Well, little does she know that, Kumiko had Chosen smashed, and, but Kumiko has his heart. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like I guess you can call it like a rebound, And if you know anything about anything, them rebounds don't never last long.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's rebound. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it all just depends on if they bring Kimiko back, really.
Yeah.
Because remember, they brought Ali back just to give Johnny the closure, and the real woman he was after was Carmen.
Right.
But like in a way, the same thing. Like Ali had Johnny's heart, and Carmen was kind of like the first woman Johnny had ever been with after Ali, as such,
Well, I can see it going that route. Yeah, I can see it going that route where Chosen gets that closure with Kumiko, but he ends up with Kim. Yeah, and I think Kim's a better fit for him, because Chosen is all about fighting. Like his whole life is fighting and weapons, and Kim is like, that's right up her alley. Kumiko is more, kind of gentle and non-violent and soft, and Chosen's more like yoish.
Right.
You want to take somebody's head off.
I agree. I think it would be the better fit, because both of them are two badasses in karate.
Right.
And like they're both passionate about the same thing, whereas like him and Kimiko, like she's a businesswoman.
Yeah.
So what's he gonna do? Like, oh hey honey, how was your day at the office?
Right.
While he's doing karate, it's just two different worlds,
Yeah. Definitely, Kim's definitely a better fit for him.
Yeah, and they kind of check her past as well. I mean, he smacked her. I mean, that's.
No, he smacked. He smacked the shit out of her.
Yeah, that'd be hard to get a relationship out of that.
Woo, man, like he hit her so hard, that motherfucker, her head bounced off. When she fell, like she kind of bounced a little bit, and a whole bunch of dust flew up. That's how hard he hit her.
Yeah, that's hard to get past, I would think.
Yeah. I should be laughing. That's not funny. I'm not laughing at the fact she got hit. I'm just laughing the fact that Chosen actually did that shit.
I know. Yeah, that was bad.
Twice.
Twice what?
Yeah, I mean, because Jason saying, I remember, hey Jason, he says, I remember that the showrunner said that this season might set up some spin off. Don't know if it's spoiler free talk, but do you guys think we'll see a spin off with a surprise cameo? Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end because we're going to talk about our thoughts at the end. We've got a lot more to discuss. We're trying to get through this, but yeah. But we're just having a good time talking about this. So yeah, we talked a bit about Chosen, talked a bit about Kim as well. I think we've got to talk about a big elephant in the room, Daniel LaRusso, and this. Yeah, I mean, Rashad and Jason, what do you guys think about this whole Miyagi storyline and him learning these secrets about Miyagi? Do you guys really care about this storyline?
Let it go. Just let it go, bro. I've spoke on this enough, man. Let it go, man. That the man had a past before he met you. Okay, he wasn't always old Mr. Miyagi with the wax on, wax off. This dude had a past. Let it be, you know.
Right.
But I think personally, I think they're gonna dig more into it, of course, in the last 5 episodes, and then it's gonna tie into the Karate Kid Legends movie, where I think somehow Han and Miyagi have some kind of connection, and that's where Daniel comes in. Because I think Daniel's gonna like go on this like Indiana Jones type quest to find all the Miyagi whatever, you know what I'm saying? But just let that shit go, man. I'm fed up with it, but I know for the story they got to keep doing it. But it makes him look like a little bitch, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And Jason, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah. Now that I think about it, I don't know if we needed that storyline. I think that's what you're trying to say. Like, did we really need this whole storyline? Now that I think about it, I don't know if we did. Because part of me is like, I don't want to think of Miyagi that way, I guess. I like where we left Miyagi, you know, and then now we're exploring this whole past that, you know, it's like, what are we doing here? Except that I guess the only storyline we can go with is that, yeah, he was a different person when he was younger. Then after he had that Saikai term experience where someone died, then that's when he changed maybe as a person, and that's why he doesn't like tournaments. And I guess that's the storyline arc of it, but which I guess is something. I guess it gives you a little more backstory on Miyagi I guess we don't get much. I mean, the only story we get Miyagi is that, you know, he had a wife and kid at one time, and he fought in World War II, I think, and there was an internment camp. And I guess we don't go really detailed, but that's all the things we know about him and why he's the way he is. Yeah, I wish we would have gotten some. I guess I'm hoping we get some kind of closure to that now that we got that story going, I guess, in the next 5. Because I was surprised. I thought we were going to bring some closure to that story this time around, but we never really did. Well, all we know is that he opponent died, I guess. So it's like
he killed the dude. He robbed a dude.
Yeah.
He's supposedly fought the Saikai Takai, but that's probably not even his headband. You know, it could be his opponent's headband who he killed, or it could be somebody that he trained to fight in the Saikai Takai. You know, that headband could have belonged to anybody. But yeah, that's all we know.
Yeah,
it could be the blood of like the victim. You know, like you try to help the victim, or like maybe he was the last person to hold the victim as they died, and as he got the blood on his headband, you know, maybe try to use the headband to close the wound or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's gonna have to meet somebody that's gonna say, "Oh, this is what happened," and Miyagi did a good thing after that, or he gave money to somebody to help them, or he did stuff to help people, and we're gonna feel good about Miyagi by the end.
Right.
That's going to happen. But
well, I've got a question for you guys, which is a comment that Jason's actually wrote, but I think it's a really good one, and I know it goes more into the theories. But if you guys remember in the next Karate Kid, one with Hilary Swank, there's a part in time where Hilary Swank's struggling, the characters all over the place, and he takes it to like that monk monastery place, and it's like he knows the people there.
Right.
So Jason was saying his theory is that the person who will give Daniel some answers will be Julie Pierce, and maybe more this could lean into after the Sakai Takai, did Mr. Miyagi go to that monk monastery and they changed his ways about fighting and tournaments and all this kind of stuff? And then that leads into Julie Pierce to be like, well, actually, he came back here some years ago with another student. And then Daniel learns Julie Pierce.
Mm. I like that. Because you got to think too, because what if after losing his wife and child, right, like the way he did, he just spiraled out of control for like he had a moment where he just spiraled out of control and became like he just went like dark, and he redeemed himself. It's inevitable. We gotta see Julie Pierce somewhere because Dalen said so in this these 5 episodes. He says, I was Mr. Miyagi's only student. I don't know if you heard that. You see, I was his only student. I'm like, no, you're not. You're in a rude awakening, brother.
I like that idea.
I think storyline wise that would make sense because again, I'd have to go back and watch the next Karate Kid, but he definitely said he went to that monk monastery for some time in his life.
Right.
So that would make sense, Rashad. Like the Takai messed with his head. His wife and kid maybe left him because he was not being a father. He wasn't being a husband. He was out of control. He went to that monk monastery, and then, of course, maybe Daniel goes back there as a trip, and then he learns about Julie Pierce.
Right.
So then he goes to track down Julie Pierce, and she gives him the answers. Be like, well, actually, Miyagi, I was his student. He helped me in my time of need,
Right. So he did have a short time where he wasn't exactly a good person. I mean, shit, he took his homeboy's girlfriend. This is back in Okinawa, where Sato had your girl and Miyagi took her, and then when Sato vowed to kill him, he fled to America.
Right.
Now I want to watch Karate Kid 2 now after we're talking about this.
He did, because he said him and the girl fell in love. He made a speech in front of the whole village. So not only did he take his homeboy's girl, but gets in front of everybody and said, "Hey, we're together now, and I don't care," because I guess the way it worked out, Sato's parents had it arranged for them to get married. And then Miyagi said, no arrangement. You marry who you love. No, she's my girl now. Sato was like, okay, now we got to fight. Miyagi said, no, we're not. I'm going. And he left. Yep. Only to come back. A coward. You will die as you have lived. You see your father. Then you see me.
Yeah. Oh man, this show's only elevated those movies so much.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It made the movies look like the original Star Wars trilogy kind of level movies,
Right, even 3.
Right. Yeah. But one thing I think I want to talk about with Daniel LaRusso, I want to ask you guys a question. So with the kind of gripes we've had with him and this whole Miyagi storyline and him getting put into the dog jail, which I found pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, he went to this random ass place in Barcelona.
Right.
I was like, it was inevitable and someone was gonna trap him or something,
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question. Do you want to see a Daniel and Johnny final fight?
Just like that.
The Rocky 3.
Just like that.
Right.
Yep. And don't even show who the winner or the loser is. Just show them circling each other, talking this show. Okay, LaRusso, this is it. One more time, and then boom, freeze it.
Yeah, right. we got a fight out of them, and nobody won the last time they fought, which was kind of a cool way.
Yeah.
Because you always think like, who's going to win? If they fought again. And the fans have been wanting to see that, but.
And they keep teasing it. They keep teasing it all the time. As you said, Jason, like the best friends one episode, then that Rocky 3 beach scene, they're about to go at it again, and he calls him a pussy.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
like,
listen,
you want
I
to go
say
again? You caught me on a bad day.
Right.
Well, I say don't give us who the winner is. Let us theorize our own, saying, because we never got to see, well, not 2 years later where Adonis Creed revealed that Apollo won the third fight, but just keep us in suspense. Let us come up with our own conclusion who won the final fight between Daniel and Johnny. Just freeze it like that and let our imagination make it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can see it happening. For sure. So with Daniel LaRusso, we've talked about him. We've talked about his mishaps and his journey in Barcelona as well. Rashad, what was your thoughts on Johnny Lawrence in this 5 episodes?
I wish we could have got more of a badass moment with Johnny, because every season Johnny always has that moment where, because remember the show started with him. You know what I'm saying? This is Johnny's story.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And every season Johnny always has that moment where, you see why he's the badass that he is. And you never quite get that, at least not that I can think of in these 5 episodes. I mean, if anything, you see that there's somebody bigger and better than him, which is this other sensei guy. So I mean, I still I'm still Team Johnny. That's my Johnny's the white version of me, man. You know what I mean? So I still love his character. He's determined to be a father and a sensei. You know what I mean? So I like how his character has evolved from the other seasons. I mean, he's still Johnny. He still says some ignorant shit, but you can see his heart is in his students and with Carmen and the kids. Yeah.
I feel like in these 5 episodes, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like he hasn't really had any comedy gold moments, because he always comes out with some quip or,
right,
I don't know, like something that always gets a really good chuckle out of you. And I feel like in these episodes, he's not had that moment.
Maybe the moment with the muffin. I don't know, when him and your boy was kind of going back and forth. When the dude said the way he pronounced Barcelona, he says, "It's Barcelona, dipshit."
I love that.
Yeah.
It's pronounced wrong.
The whole time Johnny was the one pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, or like you want to fight the guy for a piece of steak.
Yeah, piece of steak. Yeah,
yeah, he's ready to go at it.
Right.
Well, Jason, what do you think about Johnny Lawrence in these final episodes?
Yeah, excuse me 1 second, yo.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I always love Johnny. He's definitely one of my favorite characters on the whole show, and why the show exists, because of that character and the redemption arc they had the whole series. And man, yeah, he's just become so likable lately because of the whole, being a dad again. Has really made him. Humbled him a little bit at times, and I'm trying to think. Has he had a big moment? Like, we got a little bit of him versus the other sensei. I think that's going to be that's definitely the big rivalry right now. Is him and that Iron Dragon. So I would assume they would get into another fight at some point. Square things out. Definitely that scene, like I said, that scene with Miguel on the plane was definitely the best scene of the show, I think, and he did a great job, William Zabka in that scene.
Yeah, I was going to say that was probably his big standout moment, the plane scene, I think.
Yeah,
and then as you said, when he was fighting that sensei, but I think the only other big moment is when we actually got a little bit of a Johnny Lawrence Terry Silver fight, and I was really excited to see that.
Yeah.
And he got the upper hand on Terry Silver as well.
Yeah, well, because for a moment, it looked like he was defending Kreese.
Yeah,
I think Kreese even took it that way, but he was like, "No, I want to get my payback."
Yeah,
because last time Silver beat him.
Yeah.
They still.
Well, because in that scene as well, when he was going to go to Kreese, we'll talk about this soon. But I thought he was going to get killed, Johnny, or he's going to get stabbed.
I thought one of them was going to get stabbed. Yeah.
I thought, well, the way it was looking, I thought Daniel was going to be the one to get stabbed because you kept showing Kwame with the knife. You see Daniel running in slow motion. So I thought he was going to get in the middle. He was going to get jugged, but it didn't happen that way.
Yeah. I thought somebody else was going to get stabbed. It didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, for sure.
Damn.
Oh,
that's Kreese, man.
That is Kreese. You're right.
Yeah. Kreese got that baby killed. Well, Kreese and Sam, both of them got that baby killed.
I was thinking, would he be the one to get blamed, I guess, since it's his knife, technically? Even though, I mean, it's kind of Kwan's fault, but I suppose you have to put the blame on Kreese somewhat.
It's one of those things. I think it's a great question, and I think it's how they play it off, because as we talked before with Kreese, he's got away with it because he says, he's a veteran with PTSD.
Right.
So he could say, I just had a PTSD moment. I thought I was in the battlefield once again and I dropped my knife or something,
Yeah.
And we've got to talk about this. We talk about Johnny, we talk about Daniel. We've got to talk about this. recently he lost his shit when Terry Silver in the
Oh.
bathtub. Like,
I
Karate
noticed
Kid
that.
3.
I noticed that too. Yeah, with the arm
Yeah.
stretched out with the cigar.
Yeah. And I think that was a great moment of bringing Terry Silver back. Like, Rashad, you called it. Terry Silver was
I did.
we talk about the Iron Dragons, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
He looked like he got in shape too, man. Like when he stood up, I said, look like a Thomas Ian Griffin put on a little bit of muscle there.
Yeah, he's in the 60s. He still looks pretty good. I mean,
Yeah,
he moves pretty.
I mean, technically, he's 4 months younger than Ralph Macchio.
Which is nuts.
Age.
Yeah.
But I think Thomas Ian Griffith still does karate though, in general. So it's probably why he's actually in good shape. And his moves are believable. He doesn't need a stunt double, you know.
He's legit.
Oh no, he's legit. Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah.
When he gives those kicks, man, he has great kicks because he has long legs, and man, when he kicks, it looks like that would hurt. Like,
but he doesn't seem too evil this time around. Like, like his character this time around is more of this is like his redemption because of what happened in season 5. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I was disgraced. My dojo was taken away. My reputation's ruined. So this is all about now my redemption story, as opposed to Kreese. His whole thing is all about war, combat. You know what I'm saying? So even though both of them are evil, but like I said, Terry Silver is more of a understandable evil, where Kreese is just evil for the sake of being evil.
Right.
Like there's no redeeming factor for Kreese, man. He's just gone.
Yeah, whereas Terry Silver's motivation's always been to win a tournament or to win the big time.
Well, he wants to beat Cobra Kai and Miyagi wants to embarrass them.
Right.
It's kind of his.
This stuff is so nasty. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I probably got about 20 minutes before this stuff starts kicking in.
oh no, yeah.
Yeah, so after that, I got about probably 20, 30 minutes, man.
Nah, no problem. We'll be wrapping it up. Well, 1 hour 51, so we'll go like literally 10 more minutes to the 2 hour, and then we'll be cutting it. So we'll start wrapping up. Don't worry. But yeah, I thought Terry Silver's return was great. It was cool to see him back with the Iron Dragons.
Yes.
I liked how he recruited the sensei as well, the steak sensei.
The steak sensei.
The steak sensei.
What is his name? That's driving me crazy now because I see him. I think Cole Mortal Kombat, but what is his name on the show?
Yeah, what is his name? I can't remember now.
They've probably said it, but I honestly don't know.
I don't remember it.
Nah, I don't know. But yeah, so Rashad, what's your thoughts on the Iron Dragons?
Yo, the moment where the first competition, where I think was it Cobra Kai or was it Miyagi do that step forward, and then the 4 front people like kneel down, and you saw Baby Drago and the girls there. I said, ooh. Before they even threw a punch or a kick, I said, yeah, they ain't no joke.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like right now, like I don't see any weaknesses in their game. I don't see a situation where the Miyagi-Dos can beat them, especially that guy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, right now, like they're the dominant, unbeatable force that eventually, because it's Cobra Kai, they're gonna have to kind of like remember how when Kane first came into the WWE, and Kane pretty much no-sold for everybody. Like nobody can hurt Kane. Yeah. All of a sudden, everybody was beating Kane. So it's gonna be one of them situations where out of nowhere, this guy's gonna start getting his ass kicked.
Well, do you think that a zoned-in Robbie could beat him?
No, because Robbie was zoned in that fight, and this guy is so crazy, bro. Because Dane and Johnny were giving commentary during the fight, right? So as Robbie's trying to get this dude, man, his defense is on point. Oh man, yeah. Then you hear the sensei. It's about Axel attack. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, his offense is even better. Yeah, Robbie can't get it. And he was manhandling Robbie like he was a kid. So he's not supposed to. But I know for the sake of the story, they're gonna make him, get him. But right now, no, Robbie can't fuck with this dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
I can get that. And do you think it'd be Sam or Tori that beats Zara?
I think Tori will get Zara.
Yeah, that would be my thinking.
Yeah. I think Tori gets her.
Yeah.
it would kind of make sense with the foreshadowing with her and Robbie being on the podium,
Right.
and Tori getting a redemption, finally beating Sam, as well, and then them two actually fighting as friends and not enemies as well.
It's funny, like that one scene, she got beat by that girl. You said her name? What's her name? Zara.
Zara.
And she's like, "Welcome to Barcelona," and then she like uses the B word. What the heck? What happened here? What? All of a sudden she has beef with her, like, and then like in another show, like the Australian chick like called another girl the B word. I'm like, wow, they're really throwing around.
They just throw that word around, don't they?
Yeah.
What is the beef here? Like, I didn't understand. Maybe it's just girls hate each other all the time, but it's like, man, they all hate each other.
Well, Tori kind of started that with Zara, because if you remember when they first got there, and Zara was checking Robbie out, right? But she didn't know that her and that Robbie and Tori were together. So she was like, yeah, like check that guy out. And then Tori kind of looked at her like, and she says, "Oh, you must got dibs on that."
Yeah,
that's where it started.
I guess that's a little harsh. Like calling the B word to a stranger you don't really know. I'm like,
yeah, true.
I guess that's how they get down nowadays, man.
Like, what are they teaching these kids? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, we've got to talk about our predictions for this next part, right? The final part of Cobra Kai, the final ever episodes we're going to get of Cobra Kai. I mean, unless they bring it back in the future, but I don't think they probably will. So Jason, Rashad, I'll leave it open to you guys. So where do you think they're going to go, and how do you think this is going to wrap up?
Man, that's a good question.
I honestly don't know, man. Like, after what happened to Quan, I'm like, I don't know where they go from here, because I don't see them continuing the tournament, but I know they kind of have to, and how everybody's going to be changed after this, so I don't know, man. Like, this is one of them situations where, and Cobra Kai is not known for their strong writing, but I honestly don't know where the fuck they go from here, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like we were saying, right, I think ultimately, as you said, Rashad, the tournament's going to resume. Like, I think they're going to have, like, maybe half an episode aftermath, be like, look, this is bad. The kids go back home. They take time to reflect, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then I think the tournament resumes. I think we were saying Robbie, for the sake of it, is probably going to beat Axel in the final. Maybe they don't acknowledge that Quan won. Maybe they just say, like, look, Robbie and Iron Dragon's final, for the men. Tori wins. Maybe them two get scholarships, possibly. So they both get into college.
Right.
Maybe together, or maybe they rekindle a relationship. Maybe they go separate ways. I don't know. I don't know. I just thrown some suggestions out there. I think Chosen and Kim.
Okay. Oh no! I just want to throw one more thing in there real quick.
Yeah.
What if? Right. So, because it's setting up Axel and Miguel at the same time, so it wouldn't be right if we just had Axel and Robbie, right? Knowing that Axel's like side-eyeing Miguel, and you know what I'm saying, and they already kind of had a little.
Yeah, you're
what
right.
if? What's that?
Yeah, Miguel's more of the rival, right?
Yeah. So what if this happened, y'all? What if it starts out with Axel and Robbie, right? But Robbie like gets hurt, like Axel like really hurts Robbie to the point where Robbie cannot continue. You know what I'm saying? But now somebody has to take his place. So Axel hurts Robbie, Ivan Drago style, move the damn towel, and Robbie's sitting there. If you ever seen Best of the Best, Robbie's gonna be sitting there with his shoulder all taped up, and Miguel, you gotta get him. Do it for me, man. Do it for me, buddy. Don't worry, Robbie, I got you. He's dead meat, and he gets revenge for Robbie and faces off against Axel, and they have like a best of the best type fight. I think that'll be dope.
I mean, they've been teasing them two, like with blows together,
Right.
So it could happen. Could happen, and Miguel could win the scholarship for Robbie at the end of it.
Yeah, because Carmen said at the hospital, Carmen was like, "Look, I want you to come back winner of the Saikai Takai."
Right.
If he comes back not a winner, come on, man. That's anticlimactic.
Right.
Yeah.
True. Well, it could happen, and then I think Johnny will come back home. Carmen will have the baby, so Johnny's now a new
Yeah.
You know, a proud father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling, I think they could end this one of three ways. I don't know if you guys think about this, and let me know if you agree, disagree, have your thoughts. He'll have the baby, you know, all will be happy. Daniel LaRusso returns to his auto garage and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Either number one, where Johnny and Daniel have a fight at the end, like you were saying, Rashad, Rocky freestyle,
Mm-hmm.
where they're going for a punch and that's end.
Freeze it. Yep.
Maybe worst case, Daniel goes in for it and Johnny does the crane kick. And
that would be
ends
dope.
it.
I would love that.
Like a revenge for 84.
Yeah.
Or they have it where they're both happy, but Daniel gets a visit from Jackie Chan and leads into the movie.
Leads into the movie.
That'd be awesome.
I see it going. I see it going the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jackie Chan pops up and yes, Daniel son, we have much to discuss. Do 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 do. Music kicks in.
Samuel Jackson style or what?
Well, yeah, well, like it's like for ages, like, you know, like I remember Perez was saying about Jackie Chan coming, and Emma was saying to me, "What about Jackie Chan comes in?"
Mm-hmm.
And I think with this, because I think this is coming on February 13th, and I think the movie Karate Kid Legends is due about May time.
I think April or May, yeah.
So they're gonna have to, because they're gonna have to tie in Jackie Chan and Daniel LaRusso somehow,
right?
And I think the show would tie that in with that movie, unless they have like a post-credit scene, maybe.
Either way, Jackie Chan's gonna be introduced in that last episode.
I think you're right.
It may be one more surprise, like, you know, that extra cherry on top, like, oh shit,
because
I was gonna be live talking about it like we are now.
Right.
I'm a massive Jackie Chan fan, so if he showed up, I would lose it. I'm like,
yeah.
Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah.
And very quick, my brother's just popped in. He says, "Evening, gents. No idea what we've spoke when we're spoilers." He says, "Latest episodes were fire and Chosen was star of the show."
Shout out to Chosen.
He's one of the best characters.
True.
I think Kreese, something's going to be done with Kreese, because I feel like Kreese is going to feel really bad about the whole Quan thing, because it's his knife, and Quan was his student. I feel like he invested in Quan. So I don't know. He might have a, you know, I don't know if he's going to have a face turn, but he's going to have, you know, some.
Yeah.
You're going to feel bad, or he's going to feel bad about the whole thing. I think you're going to see some vulnerability maybe in Kreese in the next 5. I'm not sure what will happen with him necessarily, but maybe he'll give up Cobra Kai because he sees what happened to Quan or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing things. I'm kind of interested in what happens with Kreese.
That's a good question. Do you think he will have a redemption arc?
It's possible.
He might, because Kreese, as evil as he is, he loves his students, especially his top students. You know what I mean? And he's never had a student die on him. You know.
Yeah.
So the fact that a student died on his knife, that can't help but change a man. So right.
Because he looked pretty. He looked like he was not. You know, he was worried, or he had a bad look on his face at the end of that episode, where he was like really felt bad about it.
Yeah, you looked a little remorseful a little bit.
Yes, very remorseful. That's
And you got to think, there's never any like bad students. Always the bad sensei
teaches
that student.
Check out Mike with the Miyagi-isms. I hear you, man.
Well, like
no such thing as bad student, only bad teacher.
Yeah, right. Like Quan, you know, he wouldn't have been a bad student if he wasn't with Cobra Kai. You know,
right. And the fact that Kreese encouraged that, because Kim was trying to keep him at bay. Kim was trying to, you know, calm him down. And Kreese is like, no, we can use that. No, amp that shit up. So that Quan that we saw, that was Kreese's doing.
What if Kreese does a bit of a redemption where he goes back to that sensei, like the very, you know, the 90-year-old sensei, however old he is, and lets Kim have like a life outside of karate, but he's the one who teaches the sensei to like let her go. Because they keep kind of teasing that with the sensei and the knife and all this kind of stuff, you know.
Right.
Yeah. He loved it, man. That was his prized possession, wasn't it?
Shit. Well, maybe. Probably that was the premonition that he had when he saw himself snapping Johnny's neck. Because a lot of times when you dream something, it's usually the opposite thing. So if you dream that say, your uncle gets shot, it's really your aunt or somebody. It's always the opposite. So the fact that he had that premonition of him snapping Johnny's neck and Johnny dying, that probably was really Quan that he was seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like the next Johnny for him, maybe.
Right.
That's a good shout.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Besides that, I don't know what's going to happen. I think Rashad, I kind of like with Rashad, like, can they have the tournament? But then you feel like something has to happen because you have to have some closure to all the rivalries.
Right.
And so,
that
ending baffled me. I was like, where are they going from here? I'm kind of curious. Because there has to be an aftermath. There has to be an aftermath. This
that episode was one of the best they've done, and the fact that it was just like
that crazy, that
brawl was amazing,
insane, bro. I don't know how they pulled that off, man. You got to think you're coordinating, but you're coordinating like everybody at the same time,
right?
That was an insane brawl. It's like everybody's into it too. It didn't take much poking. Everybody's like, yeah, let's get into it. No rules.
No rules. Everyone was out for each other. You got the two Hawks teaming up with each other.
Right.
I was like, oh my god,
everybody was pure insanity, man. Like just when you think they couldn't top the school fight scene, like each time they always do something to kind of up it,
I love the two kids are at LaRusso's house watching it. The two kind of the scrawny nerd kids.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I was there. We know how to brawl.
Yeah, we have brawl experience.
I was like,
they would have been knocked out within 2 minutes.
Oh,
easily.
Flat, easily.
Actually, I would have taken them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've always tried to top that school scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like season 3 was when they all fought in the house.
The Russo house, yep.
Yeah, and then last season they had like another brawl as well.
Yep.
And then, but I think this one's the climax. You're not going to get.
I don't know how they'll top that one. I guess they saved the best for last, man. Like
that guy,
you can't top that shit.
Yeah, that guy, like so bitter, knocked out the main guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, you're going to jail. Like you just assaulted the head of the Sky tournament thing, and they incited a riot. I mean, or whatever. It's like, wow, they really didn't care. They're going to go to jail.
They're going all out,
yeah.
Like, holy cow! Like,
so I don't know. So I mean, unless this is like the Kumite in Bloodsport, where somebody can die and the tournament can still continue, I guess that's how they're going to do it. I'm assuming you both seen Bloodsport, right?
Yeah. Oh, love Bloodsport.
Yeah. Oh, Mike, you ever seen it? You suck.
Oh, it's.
Well, the Kumite, the tournament in Bloodsport's called the Kumite, and it's got similar rules. So somebody can catch a body, the blood will be on the mat. They'll take the body out, and the next fight goes on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds a bit like this then.
Pretty much.
The next episode, there's going to be some kind of the Sakai Tai, whatever. All the head people are going to get together. They're going to have some kind of meeting, or they're going to have some kind of thing where they're going to talk about, do we continue on or something, and people will give speeches.
Right.
I want to see, there's got to be a scene like that in the next episode, like a discussion of should we continue on or something.
Right.
But, I mean, they've got to, because even if you like quickly rewind it back to when Terry Silver gave Daniel LaRusso that paper where it said Miyagi was in it and it said death, it gave a list of like then afterwards all these other winners the year after year,
Right.
So they never stopped it when that happened in Miyagi's day. Yeah. They just kept going. So they've got to surely carry on with this.
Silver's going to be like, yeah, let's keep going. He's going to be the one to be like, yeah.
But remember he said that was a different time too, where that was allowed, and now they have more, I guess, stricter rules. You know what I'm saying? So
I can see Daniels be like, we can't do this anymore. We got to quit. Daniels always the one. And Johnny's gonna be like, no, we gotta keep going.
Yeah. Or like Daniel will be like, oh, we've got to quit. But then when they say the tournament's back on, he's like, come on, Robbie, you got this.
Do it for Quan, Robbie. Do it for Quan.
Yeah, do it for Quan.
The guy we all hated. That guy.
Like the outsiders, you do it for Johnny, man. You do it for Johnny. It would say you do it for Quan. And if y'all seen The Outside, I don't know if y'all seen The Outsiders or not. That was What, Jason? You're around my age. You ever seen The Outsiders?
No, I haven't.
Dude, let me see what that's on, bro. Y'all can tell you. I'm gonna find it, bro. You're a child of the '80s, man. You got to see The Outsiders.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of it, and I'm like,
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Mike, you ever seen it either?
Nah.
Yeah, so The Outsiders had everybody in there, man. That was Ralph Macchio's one of his first movies.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez, Matt Dillon, Diane Lane.
Is it Francis Ford Coppola?
Francis Ford Coppola, yeah. Off of the popular book, and Coppola did it in '83, and that's kicked off like everybody's career. You know, Steve Thompson. Yeah, everybody's in that movie, man. Y'all tripping.
Yeah, right. That's right.
I'll get to it.
Yeah, I need
No, you're not, but continue.
No, I will. But yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty much going to wrap up here because Rashad does have to go. But I do want to say thank you to Jason and Rashad for joining me. Been an absolute blast. Links are down below in the description box. We will get these two guys back on when Cobra Kai wraps up. We will have to talk about the Cobra Kai end of season 6. Have you guys got any final thoughts or any other scenes you want to talk about before we press end the stream?
Do we talk about Devin? The whole thing with Devin, what she did to Kenny, and how y'all felt about her and her little redemption arc?
But touched a tiny bit when you said about Hawk saying, "Oh, that guy, look at me, hasn't forgiven her," but then they were laughing together.
Yeah, I mean, because her saying that she didn't deserve to be there, which technically she doesn't, but at this point, because I'm not really feeling Dimitri, I'll take Devin over Dimitri.
Yeah, I like Devin's character.
You know why? Because Devin's a fighter. Devin got that dog in her. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's the difference between Sam and Tori, is that Sam is this more skilled fighter. She knows more, but Tori got that dog in her. You know, when you got that dog in you, man, I feel like you win every time. So yeah, Dimitri is so negative. Like, oh, we're losing. We're gonna get our asses kicked. We might as well get on the plane. Like, I don't want nobody like that on my team, man. Kick his ass out, keep Devin in there.
Okay, here's one thing I was going to bring up, and this is just a nitpick of mine that you're probably like, who cares? But I don't understand the whole thing about guys fighting girls in these. It doesn't make any sense because girls fight girls, guys fight girls in karate. I'm sure. I doubt they ever mix because guys would just annihilate the girls.
Right.
There's scenes where girls are fighting the guys and they're beating the guys, and I'm just like, maybe it's just me. I'm just thinking like, there's no way a girl would beat in a karate situation. If they're both experienced, karate people, and I don't want to get on the political soapbox, but I'm just like, that's the only thing that bothers me. I was like, no way. There's no way this girl's gonna beat this guy. But I don't know. I know it's TV, so we got to go. Okay.
No, but but that was one of the problems because remember season 1, the All Valley, they had a lot of girl and the guy fights, and they addressed that in season 4. They're like, okay, we're gonna have a women's division and we're gonna have a guys division. So they stopped doing that. But I guess for the Sakai Takai, they said, look, this is equal opportunity ass kicking. Anybody can get it.
Yeah.
He'd kill her. He'd kill her.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. I think it depends on the lineup, though. Like, for example, like if you had like a Tori v. Dimitri, Tori would whoop Dimitri any day of the week.
Facts. Twice on Sunday.
Or like Sam LaRusso would beat Dimitri. But like if you had like a Dimitri v. Tori versus Axel, there's no competition there,
Right.
You're right.
Her head would be on the swivel, man. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't. I can't disbelief my what do you call it?
Suspend disbelief.
Yeah. To believe that girl's gonna beat a guy in karate. That's just
nah.
I think it depends on the training and again the matchups and stuff as well. Like the girls in this karate tournament would beat like the two geeks back at the LaRusso house.
But in the final though, it is separated, right? Because in the final they had the girls facing each other and then the guys facing each other.
It is.
Yeah, I think it was only for like the team.
Yeah.
I think the team competitions. That's what they did. I almost said bisexual, but the the co-ed fight or whatever. But yeah, but the finals is girls, guys, and guys.
Because my feeling is that like they didn't say you have to have a girl on your team, or I don't remember if there's a rule that you have to have like 1 or 2 girls on your team or something like that, or you don't need any girls on your team. Because I'm thinking if it's me, I'm picking like 5 guys. I'm like,
right.
Team, it's 5 big guys. Like you know, that's my team. I'm not picking any girls on my team if I'm going out brawling.
Well, I mean, so you wouldn't put Ronda Rousey on your team if you was going in a bar fight or Amanda Nunes?
Gosh,
True, they are.
You know what I'm saying? I'll pick. Listen, if somebody said Rashad, choose between Mike, Jason, and Amanda Nunes, I'm like, yo, Amanda, come on, Mike. Hey, y'all can't spread, but if I'm going into a fight, I'm bringing Amanda with me.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it depends on the fighter and again the weight classes and who they're against, experience as well. But I get where you're coming from, Jason. Like we're suspending disbelief, and it depends on the matchups. You know, I say if they had Tori beat Axel, I'd be like, nah.
I'd be like, yeah,
that's not happening. You know.
Yeah, no way.
Nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to wrap up there anyway because as Dave Rashad's got to head out as well. But it's been a blast talking to you guys. Thank you, Rashad and Jason, for joining me as well. I really do appreciate it.
Jason, I see you laughing over there. It ain't funny, man. Jason's laughing like Rashad about to go handle some business. You damn right.
I know, right? But yeah, until next time, we will see you guys later. Take care, everyone.